Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again. Another Finding Gnosis show. Yeah, nice to have someone on fucking quickly for a change. You know what I mean?
I've been waiting. I've been waiting here for 5 hours, mate.
yeah. So good to have you here. Anybody else want to join? The link is in the chat. Do come on and say hello and let us know what you're thinking about this strange reality and what is going on. Your thoughts, aspirations, fears, thing at all, philosophy, spiritual, whatever. UF Dogs, what have you been thinking about?
How are you, mate? You doing well?
Yes, thank
Good.
you. Not too bad.
No worries. What have I been thinking about? I've been thinking about a few things. Obviously, the same old, same old, which is kind of what I'm online for. Um, Had some interesting developments over here in the old Japan. We've got our first female prime minister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah. But
that's
she
that
seems
is a that
she
is a big thing.
it is
Mm,
actually, yeah, for this country it
mm.
actually is, and it looks like she's quite a conservative lass, but she seems pretty hard case. So it's going to be interesting to see the impact that she has on the country. I'm looking forward to watching it play out.
Yeah, good luck to her. But she is
Yeah.
conservative. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh,
But the
very, very
Japanese
much.
are kind of well, the Japanese are conservative anyway, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much.
okay,
It's kind of she's kind of like the
cool.
the I don't know, make Japan great again kind of chick.
Yeah. I think that's a tried and tested method of gaining power.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
it does
honestly,
work.
lately in the political scene here, there's actually been a big movement to the right, and the whole Japan for Japanese kind of thing.
Mm,
It's
mm,
pretty big. It's a big thing.
mm,
So yeah, so
Interesting.
that's been
Interesting.
happening. Yeah, in the real world, and then there's the whole digital ID coming in, which there seems
Yeah,
to
I
be.
mean, have are they talking about that in Japan as well? I know they're talking about it in several countries, but and
Well, I
obviously,
think we've got something like that in New Zealand. I remember a few years back I applied
uh,
for a passport and I had to do something online. Well, I
that's
didn't even connect the dots, but it was kind of because
uh,
I'm over here. I had to do something. It's like a one ID thing. I didn't even
oh,
register. I
okay,
just did it. So I think I've already
that's
got that in
interesting.
New Zealand. Nothing
Yeah,
in Japan
yeah.
so far, but they are combining. Like it's kind of, I guess it's like a social security number. They're going to give everyone a number which you can link everything. Everything's connected. Your taxes and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Medical
Like the
information.
problem. Look. In theory, there's no problem with it. But the problem is, it will be hacked,
Yeah,
and it will be an invasion of privacy, whether we like it or not, by
yeah,
nefarious individuals. That is
yeah,
the problem. I have no problem with it as a premise. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, in terms of usage, connect everything. If we lived in an ideal world, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's great. Now I just put one number in and I get access to all my services. Uh, but we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a world where your information will be used against you.
So
And
hacking is your biggest issue with it, not the invasion of privacy or the surveillance.
no, it's one of no. I think that's a big issue as well. I think there's several problems with it, definitely. But I said in
Right,
an idea, in when I say in an ideal world, there wouldn't be kind of really bad surveillance as well. But obviously, we don't live in an ideal world. Do you know what I mean? That's what
right.
I'm just thinking. It would be naive to say there won't be problems from this.
Well, I think that
Um,
one of the big, I mean, even bigger than the digital ID thing with all the AI stuff that's coming through, you can see it's sort of popping up on X a little bit. Basically, they're going to, the powers that be, whether that's corporations or governments, are basically going to be using AI to sweep through and comb through everything you put online to make a kind of
mm.
personality assessment of you,
Oh yeah,
and that could
yeah,
affect
yeah.
everything from travel to insurance to
Hmm.
employment to everything.
But also just the ramifications in terms of being able to manipulate you. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
we
there's
we, we
also
already
that.
we already saw some dodgy stuff. Was it Cambridge Analytica and the different elections around the world? And apparently they were measuring people's posts, likes, dislikes, etc. on Facebook and whatever, and they were using that then to target them with ads that were basically specifically designed for them as individuals. And that's just going to get more and more honed. And I mean, it's going to be just a Machiavellian wet dream, isn't it? It's going to be like we can really manipulate people. We can get into their minds, quite literally. In fact, not only can they get into people's minds, they'll be able to shape their minds going forwards. You know what I mean? Direct
Yeah, I
them
mean,
to
Elon
that.
Musk is already
That's
talking about that. He's talking
yeah,
about training Grok to feed people, individuals, what they want, basically. So
yeah,
everyone's going
yeah,
to
yeah,
end up siloed in their own little looping,
yeah.
just constant loop of what you like, what gets you going.
Bro, you're living in an existential nightmare. Like the potentials for this are terrifying.
If it wasn't already bad enough.
Yeah, if it wasn't already bad enough, we are going into this strange world, whether we like it or not. And these people, well, I don't like to say this, but a lot of the people driving this are neuroatypical. And nothing against neuroatypicals. I am probably neuroatypical in some way or other. But you got to think about the ramifications for putting all the future of humanity in the hands of pros. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their specific, the way their brains work. Now, I'm not dehumanizing them. I'm saying they are not all of humanity. Their brains work in a certain way. They see the world in a certain way. They think about the world in a certain way. I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't seem very democratic to give the future to them. As in like
Right.
allow them to build the most powerful thing ever that will affect everyone potentially forever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I don't see any breaks on this. I don't see any possibility of stopping this, though. That's the thing. It's a juggernaut.
I don't think we can. I think the horse is already bolted, and I think as we talked about in the last stream, it's either if one side stops, the other side just keeps going. So there's nothing we can do. We're
Yeah.
all in.
I mean, there's literally nothing we can do, and hope for the best. And the point is, as we talked about on the streams before, like we are in a very dangerous time. I think in terms of, there's never been a greater reason to have a major war. For a power
Right.
to stop another. I firmly believe that. Not many people talk about that, but I firmly believe if you were in any way worried about another power in the world, and you didn't want them to be your overlord, then you wouldn't want them getting AGI before you. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you would be doing
That's
your
right.
damnness. You'd be doing your damnness to try and stop that, because we all know that. Well, we all hear. We don't know for sure, but we hear that when there is this artificial super intelligence, it's just going to change reality, and it may well be that reality is never the same again, and this artificial super intelligence controls it forever until nature intervenes somehow with like I don't know, the heat death of the universe or something. So there's never been a greater reason to try and curtail your enemies, or other people, other
Mm.
countries in the world who
Mm.
might be your competitors. It's not necessarily about enemies, mortal enemies. It's literally also about competition. Do you want other countries to be able to outsmart you and gain access to your resources, gain access to your land, change your culture, etc., etc.? Because that's ultimately what this is all about. This is giving someone else the keys to the kingdom. Whoever gets there first has the keys to the kingdom, quite literally.
And this time, because of the kind of it's like a digital prison. So this, like, it's the whole, that whole cliche. This time it's different, and basically that cliche is shot down usually because it's just history repeating. But I think this time it is different.
I
This
think it's
this has
wholly
the
different, exactly.
Yeah, this has the potential to permanently make it impossible to
Yeah,
overthrow ever
yeah,
again. It'll just
Ex-
create the
absolutely.
feudalistic society on steroids.
Forever. And as I said, no human will be able to break it. It will only be broken by
Yeah.
nature itself. That's if AI doesn't work a way around fucking the heat death of the universe somehow,
Well, I
reversing
mean,
entropy.
and
Who
that's
knows?
also presuming that AI doesn't eliminate the human race. I saw a great quote
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other day that said humans are really bad at creating goals, but machines are brutally efficient at achieving goals. So it could
Right,
just end up in the next couple of weeks. Oh, it's all over. We're not even here.
right. Chickpea is all about this. I believe she thinks it's all part of the revelation in the Bible. Chickpea, have you got anything to say about any of this?
Good morning, Chickpea.
Hello, yes. How are you?
Good man.
God, I've got my mouth full eating my tea. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm eating. Carry on talking. I will be a good little old lady and listen to everybody else
All right.
talk.
All right. Well, that makes a change. So
Thank
that was a joke.
Harsh.
No, Chickpea likes the
Let the
banter. Don't
games
worry.
begin.
Chickpea likes the banter. So Christian says there are weapons that can beam voices into people's heads. It's called the Voice of God weapon. Look, I mean that sounds fantastical, but you know, I don't believe there's those weapons at the moment, but I can foresee like weird things happening in the future, like where we will be manipulated by fucking holographic imagery, maybe sounds, you know. Can you imagine if there's like some weird fucking hum, you know, some torture fucking machine that just makes a horrible sound that fucking drives people insane, you know? There's all manner of things that could happen. I mean, say for example, I'm just using China. I'm not racist, but say China wanted to annoy us all. It could like put a thing in every electronic device it's ever made, just to put out this almost indiscernible noise that really annoys you and just drives you completely insane. There's just so many things. Look, there's just so many things that could happen in this fast approaching technological crazy time that it's all open. Anything can happen, really. It's all on the table, you know. I've been thinking a lot about robotics, AI, insects, you know, like little machines, little robots that are tiny that can just spy on you, walk into your room, you know, come in your window with a fucking tiny
Well,
camera
that's
that
right.
just.
These, what do they call them? Assassination drones or killer drones or something.
It's all on the table. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like they can literally have like little bugs with cameras and little poison
Yeah.
darts that just come into your room and just fucking
Yeah.
fly in,
Yeah.
poison. You know what I mean? It's all on the table, guys. It's terrifying.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I mean, once the stuff basically ends up open source, I mean, it gives all of us access to these just phenomenally dangerous, phenomenally dangerous hardware and software. It's insane. It's insane what's going to happen. I mean, we're already
Yeah,
seeing.
and it's not like Sorry, go ahead.
You go. No, you go ahead, mate.
I was just riffing off that is like there's other things that are terribly worrying as well, like in the field of bioengineering. You know, there's people now that can create viruses and fucking bacteria and fucking synthetic life and shit. I mean, what a fucking time to be alive, you know? And they are worried about that. I've heard a lot.
But you
I've
have
heard a
touched
lot
on
of people.
something there. The whole thing about creating viruses and stuff. I mean, wasn't there? I mean, even a couple of years ago when AI was just getting off the ground, didn't it sort of create some kind of bioweapon or something? I've heard that. Maybe I don't know. It may be true. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just saw it on the internet, so it's probably true.
I don't know about that, but look,
yeah.
I mean, it could certainly give instructions to somebody who
something like that.
I mean,
yeah.
at the moment, you'd have to have like at the moment AI isn't good enough to let people use it completely. You need to have a relative amount of expertise yourself, I think, to make the most out of AI. You know what I mean?
Right.
AI does like 80% of the work, maybe, but it doesn't make it look good unless you know the other 20%. You know what I mean? You need to know a lot as well to make it.
But
synergize.
But what about
you need to synergize with it.
If you take video editing as kind of like a benchmark, I mean, obviously that's not going to hurt anybody, but video editing has just jumped in quality in leaps and bounds. And so I imagine the other stuff is probably following similar trajectories. I'm guessing.
I mean, if you take that as a benchmark, you say it's not going to hurt anybody. I think it is already probably hurting people psychologically.
I mean physically. I mean the videos. They can cause so much damage and harm. It's
psychological damage, reputational damage. Bullying, whatever. There's so much crap that can go. Even just propaganda, fake news. I mean, we haven't touched on that, but just we've often spoke about like manufacturing consent, fake news, Noam Chomsky, all that type of stuff on this channel. I mean, just the potential for propaganda and fake news, lies, all this type of stuff in videographic form, with sounds as well.
with that in
with
mind, I
sounds
think,
as well. Yeah.
well, sounds as well. I mean, yeah, again, who knows what
It's the whole
sounds.
gambit. It's the whole gambit.
Yeah.
It's like everything. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
was just going to say, with that in mind, I think, I mean, I don't know if it affects anyone listening to this stream, but if you put your photos of your kids online, please stop doing that, and please take everything that you've posted offline.
Yeah.
It's
I've
mad
always
that people do that.
I always found that terrible anyway. Back in
Yeah.
like years
Yeah,
ago,
me too.
when Facebook
Yeah.
came out first, I thought, what are these creeps doing? Like putting pictures
Yeah.
of their kids online.
Don't do I had
Yeah,
a mate.
I mean,
Check this out.
yeah.
I had a mate who did that. He had a daughter, put little pics on, but it was a private Facebook group. But he said to me, the view count just shot up in his little private group. And he said
That's
it was
weird.
just so bizarre. So it looked like someone was able to access the pictures. And I mean, it
Yeah.
creeped the hell out of him,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's a creepy world, and
Yeah.
I just think that is an invasion of privacy on the kids' part
Yep,
as well.
That's right. Yeah, there's all that.
And in this day and age, I mean, there's a lot to be worried about, not just with weirdos and creeps looking at the kids' photos, but also facial recognition shit.
Yep.
AI. You're not doing your kids any favors by putting their faces out there in a world of AI facial recognition.
Absolutely.
You're not doing your kids any favors. You are, I would say, a disturbing parent. You need to, you've really done something stupid. And yeah, I don't know whether it's probably too late, but probably best thing you can do is delete all those images.
Right. I think probably what's online has probably already been scraped, but
yeah, but at least maybe try your best
to mitigate whatever damage going forward.
Yeah.
That was a good sentence. So yeah.
I mean, I am worried about the use of it in terms of fake news, but also changing history as well. We've got all these reels of things that have happened. There's videos and radio and all these files out there of even like World War II, whatever point in history you want to point to, Vietnam, whatever, the Gulf War, whatever. And our eye is on the ball in terms of present day. I mean, there's people alive, but if they really wanted to, they could manufacture history and they could change things, that people haven't got their eye on today. They could change evidence, in some format or other.
No,
Pictures,
I think you're right.
video.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And I did say this on my channel before. There's nothing to stop this doing it in a very almost indiscernible manner. So they could literally change Wikipedia word by word over the course of 20 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not just that, old newspapers, everything online could be just changed slowly in an almost indiscernible manner, so that it's almost like the Mandela effect, because people will remember something happening, but there'll be no evidence for it. You know what I mean? And in fact, the story will say something.
If you take before AI came in, do you remember when Amazon they changed the text of 1984 on their Kindle edition? And they swapped it out.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that was a few years, mate. I don't know, 3, 4.
What did they do? That sounds.
Yeah, it's weird, right? But they did that. There was a Kindle edition of 1984. For some copyright reason, they changed the text and replaced everybody's book, and a few people became wise to it. But I mean, like you say, with old World War II footage, for example, they could just tweak the odd word here and there, and no one's going to be the wiser. Except for some nerdy expert in some corner of some university who has no access to, he doesn't have to change to.
And there'll be and people will say, oh, but what about all the files? Like they could have an AI fucking virus that just when you go online, it's already going into your device. Like they could plan this like 10 years, 20 years ahead and say, yeah, we're going to get into this individual's network. We're going to get on their USB drives. We're going to get on everything they own so that we can all their files if needs be, going forward with this project. You know what I mean?
And we're gonna log all their keyword strokes as well, so we know everything they input into their computer.
I'm a worko fart says we've got to go back to physical media. Yeah, I mean, I've said that before in this channel, but even that, I have to admit, is a problem nowadays. And I remember having there was a reason why it was a problem. Because, well, if it's not done quickly, basically. But I have a feeling there will be a push against physical media in the future because of, and they'll have a legitimate reason. Perhaps they might say it's against climate change or the environment, or it's, do you know what I mean? It's causing
It's far
unnecessary.
right.
Yeah, no. What I mean is they might say it's unnecessarily damaging the environment or whatever. You know what I mean?
It'll be something like that. Yeah.
To create books, like they might ban books, physical books. I mean, that is a
Yeah.
potential.
And then you get into Fahrenheit. Was it Fahrenheit 211? I can't remember that. Fuck off. It's Ray Bradbury's book. Fahrenheit 451.
9/11. Oh, 451.
No, Fahrenheit 451.
I don't know
exactly
that one.
that. They banned hard copies of books, so people had to memorize books.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, they still ban books today, by the way, around the world. So don't think they won't do it. You know.
So it's Fahrenheit 451. Everyone should read that book by Ray Bradbury.
Okay. Thanks.
Everybody should read it. It's like up there with Brave New World and 1984.
Okay, I'll write it down. We got Sage here. Welcome, Sage.
Interesting discussions you guys are having here right now.
Because we're fascinating and interesting people, mate.
Well, good on you. That's good. Good on you. We need more people like you.
That's right. We need more people like us.
Hi, Sage.
Hi,
so, Sage, what have you got to say?
Can I just say to Sage something? Do you mind?
Well, before you do, what's that? Fahrenheit? What is it? Fahrenheit
451.
451. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Go ahead, Chickpea.
I enjoyed your conversation with thing about the whole depression thing. I've got that. What's it called again?
Oh,
no,
alexithymia?
Alexithymia, yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. I never knew, but I've got all the symptoms of what you were talking about.
Did you look it up today?
No, I learnt it from you lot talking.
Yeah, I know that, but did you look it up today? Because don't take our word for it. Did you look it up yourself?
Oh, I Googled it, yes. Oh, yes, it's there. I Googled it all. Yes, it's there. So I've learnt something new today.
Okay, well, don't thank me. Thank that individual who just came up to me randomly in the bar and said that he had it. Yeah, I mean, it came out of nowhere. I don't know if you heard that, Yerf Dogs.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
No, I've just looked it up. Alex, is it you can't find your emotions or something?
Yeah, basically, it's individuals who don't have emotional influence on their thoughts.
Yes, it's horrible. I didn't know that even existed. I've just found it.
So basically, Yerf Dog, something strange happened to me yesterday. I was messing around on the channel earlier in the day, and I made like a kind of weird, off the cuff kind of start to the show where I started doing this kind of meditation and I did it in a wacky voice. I shouldn't have done that because there's nothing wrong with meditation. But anyway, I started saying "go within." That's the whole point. The whole language of the meditation was "go within." Yeah, okay. Look within, and it was basically like a kind of Jungian thing where you look in and you try to see what symbols, signs, memories, feelings, etc. are coming out conscious into your conscious awareness, and then in your meditation you play with those in your mind and see what significance they have going forwards, if they inspire you, if there's something that is significant, if it's something that perhaps you have to get over as a hurdle in your life that you have to get over. So that's what I was talking about. But the main gist of it was I was using that terminology, go within. Yeah. Now, after that stream didn't really go well. Nobody came on. But I did like the meditation. So I edited it afterwards. Right. And I was minded to play it in the stream afterwards, which was last night. Now, in the meantime, I went to visit a friend, got on a train, went to see a mate in a bar, and we usually have a good old chat. But we weren't talking about any of this shit. We were talking about, I think, geopolitics. But I went just before, like, I went home or that. I went to the loo in the bar, and I came back to my table. And this strange dude, this guy just appeared out of nowhere, and he was looming over my chair where I'd been sitting. And my friend was still at the table, but this guy was just standing there. And, you know, I said, "You all right?" And he just looked me square in the eyes, right? And he said, "When you go within, there is nothing." All right? Now, you can imagine I was fucking like gobsmacked because I was like, what the fuck? You know, because it was like so relevant to what I'd been saying like shortly before I met my friend in that
You're
weird like
thinking, oh
wacky
my God,
meditation.
someone's going to dox me. Someone found out who I am.
No, well, it's not just that. I was thinking, what the fuck, because it was like what they call a synchronicity. It was like so relevant. It was like it was like a juxtaposition to what I'd said. I said go within, and then basically what he'd said in that moment was going within is a waste of time. There's nothing there. He literally said to me, he looked me in the eyes and said, when you go within, there is nothing. Yeah. So I was like, well, what do you mean? And then he just started coming out. He said, I've got this disorder called alexithymia. And I said, he said, not many people know about it. They confuse it for sociopathy. And he said, I'm also autistic. So then I'm thinking, all right, this is just some autistic bloke who's just come over. No wonder it's fucking a bit strange, because it is a bit strange just to randomly come over to someone's table and say something a bit out there. So I thought I better not read into it too much. But it still freaked me out. But anyway, he told me about his disorder, and he was a very nice guy. It was really strange. He was a really nice guy, and you wouldn't see it in him. He wouldn't see that this was someone who didn't have emotional awareness or whatever. But he told me that he can give an example of it because his father was like this really old boy who was, although he was so old, he was trying to get married for the 4th time. And he said to his dad, like, why are you bothered getting married at your age? And he's like, because, son, sometimes I get lonely, right? And he said this really shocked him because he doesn't feel lonely. So this is why he knows he's different to other people. He never feels alone. Now, anyway, I looked up when I got home, and apparently 10% of people have it. And they say 50 to 85% of people with autism have it. Anyway, it was something interesting to learn about. But yeah, it did freak me out, mainly because those words in particular, go within, yeah? Not many people say that shit to you, in a bar randomly. You know what I mean? Especially on the same day and within like a couple of hours of you, or maybe 3 or 4 hours, I don't know, because it was at the end of the night, of you saying it online in a weird, wacky meditation. Do you know what I mean? So it was strange.
Did he not even introduce himself to you? Did he just come up and say?
No, he didn't even. This is it. He didn't even introduce himself. That's why it was like he just appeared out. I came back from the toilet. He was standing like over where my chair was, and he just looked at me dead in the eyes, and he says, "When you go within, there is nothing."
Maybe it's your
Was that
destiny,
before or after he
DMW.
roofied your drink?
So,
That
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
context, bruh. That context.
I know, mate. You would have been freaked out as well, right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's some
I would have
interesting
been
context
covering
for
my
sure.
drink and ordering another one. I would have been, please, dude, move away.
Maybe it's your
I'd be like, oh shit, man, we just found like the core nihilist,
No. Like I was like, has the devil appeared to me? What the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? I had to talk to him to see if he was a real person, but he was a real person.
Right?
And
For
yeah.
sure.
Apparently, he told me he worked in programming. So,
And then
there you
later
go.
you looked at the security cam footage and there was nobody there.
That's like
Well,
some weird
yeah,
context. It's like
yeah.
a self-aware NPC. I am aware that I have nothing
No,
within.
I don't want to. I don't want to dehumanize him. He was a very nice.
Oh
as,
no, I don't
as
mean
I,
it in a dehumanizing
Yeah.
context. I just, that's just brutal. That's such
Anyway.
an interesting context. It's so chaotic
Well,
and humorous that there's so
one
many
in
different ways
10.
you can interpret
Apparently,
it.
1 in 10 people have this, and
Yep.
the thing is, I looked at it last night, and I don't think it's as simple as to say they don't have emotions. I think it may be that they have these emotional drives in the back end driving things, but they don't think about it and they don't verbalize it or intellectualize it. You know what I mean?
No,
And they get a bit
maybe-
There's
confused.
no emotional filters, There's no this is happiness, this is
Yeah.
sadness.
They don't.
They
That,
sort
but
of
the
bleed
part of
over, and
the
Yep.
part of the brain intellectualizes it or thinks about it isn't working. You know what I mean?
Can I
Yep.
say something? Can I just say something? Maybe
Well, you just did.
DMW, that's your destiny, because I think you'd make a great group therapy thing here on YouTube. You'd be fabulous. Really fabulous.
I don't like the idea of being a group therapy therapist.
No,
To
you'd
be
be
honest
very
with
good
you,
because I've come here for therapy, literally. But
well, it's called
I shouldn't say that, should
socializing. You shouldn't see it
No,
as therapy. Just see it as just
Let's
see it
not
as
medicalize
no. I
socializing.
want to put I want to put that warning out there. Don't see this as therapy. It is
Well,
just social. It is just
No,
testing the water, seeing what other people think. Don't take it as gospel.
well, I'm
Make your
learning
own
a
I
lot.
see
mind
where
up.
you're both coming from. I
I'm
get it.
learning a lot. I tell you, JW, I'm learning a heck of a lot here. I really am learning a lot from it.
But yeah, but you can learn a lot everywhere, Chickpea. So
No. Before coming to see you, before coming here, now I've learned a lot. I'm way behind you guys, because I am. But now I've learned a lot here.
So this alexithymia thing is it seems like there's no. I'm just reading Wikipedia, so I'll have to apologize for that in advance. But it seems like it's just I mean, is it diagnosable, or do people just decide
It's
they have
horrible.
it?
yeah, that it's
Actually,
interesting you say that. No, it's interesting you say that, Yerf Dogs, because I believe there isn't consensus in the medical
That's what it
world or
says,
the
yeah.
psychiatric world.
'Cause it
Now,
looks like emotional dysregulation to me.
Yeah,
the
you know
way
what
I'm
it
reading
is? I reckon it's due to the
Well,
fact.
emotional dysregulation, that's more like borderline personality disorder,
well, you see,
Yeah.
it's interesting you say that, Yerf. No, Chippy, 1 second, right? Because I've always found it strange. I don't think I genuinely. I'm skeptical that these so-called psychiatric specialists, neuroscientists, whatever, anybody who is working, and psychologists, anybody who is working to do with the brain and personality and our effect on the world. I'm skeptical of that they know their ass from their elbow. To be honest with you, I was shocked when they threw Asperger syndrome in with autism. I'm not
Yep.
quite sure they're the same thing. And I've also noticed, and I've noticed a lot of people who suddenly start saying they're autistic in their like
Right,
20s,
right.
30s, 40s,
Yeah.
50s. And
Oh, yeah.
I think people have to start questioning that and say, are you really autistic? Because it wasn't recognized as a child. And look, the other side to this, people aren't happy about this, but our brains do deteriorate, and some people's brains deteriorate faster than others. So calling yourself autistic in your 50s or 60s or even 40s, I think is it's dangerous, because it may be that your brain is deteriorating because you're not using it properly, you're not being healthy or whatever, or just because you're genetically predisposed to that. So don't be so sure.
It's the whole self-diagnosis trend as well. That's what bothers me. People just go,
Yeah.
"Oh, I read online that I've got
But
this, so I'm ADHD."
yeah,
I
but
don't
Yerf
see any
Dogs,
difference between that and psychiatry.
no, I
Fuck.
completely agree. That's exactly what I was going to say to Yerf, and I agree. The self-diagnosis is a problem, but I believe diagnosis is a problem as well.
Oh,
That
yeah.
and especially I would say public health institutions diagnosis, because they're stretched for time, stretched for resources, and they just have
Oh,
to
yeah.
churn out whatever. So I would say don't take a diagnosis as 100% true in the field
Right.
of psychology or psychiatry or whatever, because when you look at the DSM and all these things, there's overlapping characteristics as well. And what I
agree.
don't
Yeah.
think, what they don't allow for is when you meet a professional in these industries, you are having an interaction with them. So a lot of the interaction is based on the other person as well. So interactions aren't something that happen in isolation. They're measuring your effect. All right. But the thing is, you're rebounding, mirroring them perhaps of what they're doing. So if they're a strange person, which I believe a lot of them are, by the way, okay, well, then that's going to have an effect on your presentation. It's going to make you nervous. It's going to make you give out weird signals, perhaps.
Totally.
If you're feeling they're a little bit unempathetic, a bit robotic or whatever, that's going to make you nervous and maybe unsure of yourself. Especially, by the way, if you're a young person. I think maybe as you get a bit older and you've met a lot of people, you can maybe realize, bring out more of yourself. But I'm thinking someone in the early 20s, late in the teenage years, even someone who has that kind of disposition, they've got to be very careful going into a clinical setting and being told what they are by someone else.
I really agree with that.
Definitely.
I'm just gonna. How do I don't want to say too much, but I had some counselling, let's say, and it wasn't anything like I never got committed. I just church counselors.
Yeah, no,
And
yeah, we've all
and,
had
you
that,
know,
mate. We've all had that.
who are self-qualified, you know, and they're good people. I'm not going to say they're bad people, but just they fucked me up for a bit, you know, putting me on the wrong track. And I think a lot of this counseling stuff is people who use counseling to work through their own issues as counselors, if you get my drift.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I do
yeah.
agree.
More than
Big time.
I think I think there's a lot of value which I wish I'd learned when I was a young man. Learn. I mean, this whole what is it, alexithymia thing. I mean, if you can learn to go inside yourself and observe yourself, the whole coming back to the meditation thing. I think that's a great skill that you can learn, and it's way better than any counseling. If you can understand yourself, that's
Definitely.
the important thing. So I don't know. I'll just let
Yeah.
that lie where it falls.
No, I think
Awareness
it's
and
very,
wisdom does wonders.
but I'm also skeptical. I from anecdotal evidence, I've seen people go into these industries sometimes because of the financial incentive. You know, so I am very skeptical about some psychological psychotherapists, counselors. You know, then you have people like life coaches, etc.
Oh,
I'm
life
very
coaches
skeptical
can
about.
just go to hell.
Yeah.
Just fuck off. Seriously. No, but come on. I've seen people pop up in their early 20s. Hi, I'm a life coach. I'm going to tell you how to be. Just go away.
I know it went
Yeah,
to
yeah.
restart. But can I say something about all
Okay,
this?
sure.
This whole thing with the that disease. It's all to do with emotions. And I was brought up in a world where I wasn't allowed to express my emotions at all. And I never received input. I never got a hug or a cuddle. I guess that's hard to believe for my own mother or my stepfather or my natural father.
This is what this is it.
Really screwed me up.
To that.
Huh? Did you get that, Yerf dog?
Yeah, I've got stories.
I never once got a hug or a cuddle, and things were so bad. My brother used to smash his head against the wall like a bloody caged animal, and that is still there. You know, I remember when I said to you when I first came here, I'm still looking for someone to look up to in my life, and that's because I'm a little girl inside, a little 4-year-old, still looking for that person I can emotionally look up to. It's still
right.
there.
I mean, Chickpea, I would say kick that to the curb. To be honest with you,
what? No, I can't.
no one is
it's in my soul.
no one is completely. Yeah, but I'm just telling you because I used to have that in my early 20s. I'd say in my early 20s, I think most people have had that when you go out into the world looking for someone to inspire you, and then you get wholly disappointed when you meet people who you looked up to, and then you realize they're not perfect or whatever. But then that is just being human. So you just have to accept, Chickpea, that nobody is perfect and take what you need from individuals in terms of wisdom, but don't worship anybody.
The time and a place. It's like you know your favorite fucking flavor. You know you switch it up every once in a while. Enjoy them.
Nobody has all the cards. Nobody has all the cards, Chickpea. Nobody has everything perfect.
Yeah.
So take what you need in terms of wisdom, but as Yerf Dog said, go inwards and work it out for yourself. You know, that's definitely what will make you saner. You know.
I think the way I've approached it is I'm my best teacher, so I strive to become my own best student.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're a lot stronger than me.
I'm not stronger.
I'm just a little
I think a lot of it has to do with decisions you make. I mean, you've got to be careful about the narratives that you
give yourself.
Entrench yourself in.
You've
got to be real careful of that. And for what it's worth, there's a comedic routine. I think it was Bill Hicks who said, I've heard a lot about, he was a guy back in the 90s and 80s, you know, I've heard a lot of talk about this inner child stuff. Well, why don't you start talking to your inner adult?
Yeah.
I just think there's something to that. I really do.
Yeah, there is. Like, literally start.
I mean, like, I'm one of these guys who Chickpea, like what you've just said, I can relate to a lot, you know. So I'm not punching down. I just think I actually think there's a lot of that kind of stuff. You know, you just be careful about the narratives you entrench yourself in. That's all.
I like that one. Yeah, stop going into like the innocence of your childhood and start looking at the arsehole you are today and sorting that fucker out. You know what I mean?
And going back to what you said before, DMW, about the whole
I'm somebody that picks snails off the pavement and puts them back on the grass.
Listen, none of us are saints, Chickpea. None of us are saints.
That's
so,
for sure.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not going to be. I'm not going to be building an altar and putting a figurine of you on it, Chickpea. So,
that's told me, hasn't it?
But we'll still be mates. Don't worry.
Yes, it's right. Well, that's why I'm looking for gnosis. I suppose I'm looking for something up there. Or something, I don't know. God
Honestly,
knows.
I mean, it's cliche. I've said this before. I have found so much value in learning just meditation of the breath, focusing on the breath.
Meditate.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I can't. I mean, again, I don't want to proselytize people. I'm not into everybody should do this because it might. I don't know. It may not work for some people, but for me, it's been a life changer. So,
well,
sometimes you just got to find what works for you. That's where for years people were telling me to do breathwork meditation. And whenever I would do it, I would just it would give me panic attacks.
yeah,
And I actually discovered that
because you've just opened yourself up. You're not blocking stuff. That's part of it. Yeah.
No, well, actually, what I discovered is that I don't get enough carbon dioxide in my blood. So, those breathing exercises, I end up getting too much oxygen, and it ends up, causing all this anxiety. So I just have to alter,
You don't get
how I
enough
do the
carbon
breathing
dioxide
routine.
in your blood. Where did you get that from?
Oh, well, I was raised a swimmer, and I had a spinal surgery when I was 16, and it drastically increased the amount of oxygen I could get to my body, and I could tell that it's something to do with where I had over a decade of where I had no oxygen in my body, and it was just that was the normal. That's what I'm used to running with. So if I get too much oxygen, I get, and then I get anxious. If I don't get enough oxygen, I get too much carbon dioxide, then you're going to get the, panic response of I don't have enough oxygen.
I'm just wondering, did you just work this out in your mind, or is it something you actually had clinically tested?
Oh, no, I haven't done any medical tests. It's just been a mind-body connection thing. I've just been listening to my body, and I can tell, oh, that's what the problem was, is that, I need to, because basically I discovered that I do with my breathing meditation is I basically purposely induce a state of what's it called? When you're breathing really fast. Shit, lost that word. Hyperventilate. So I hyperventilate for just a few seconds, and then I drastically slow down my breathing to maybe 3 breaths a minute. And that's what once I get to do that, then all of a sudden I can start reducing my anxiety and stress levels, and then I can get back to the state of just breathing normal.
I mean, I've heard people who get panic attacks say you breathe into your hands, like you do that, like that really fast, and that helps them with their panic attack, apparently. Yeah.
Oh,
it's interesting.
It could practically abort a panic attack. I wish I knew this years ago.
Well, no, I heard that's what I mean. I heard that's actually what they say to people who are having panic attacks. I mean, I think I've only had one panic attack in my life. I think I was about 20 or something. I didn't know what it was at the time. But you literally feel like you can't breathe. You just feel this impending sense of doom. And luckily, I never had it since. It was quite scary, and it went on for a few hours. I didn't know what it was at the time.
I was discovering is I wasn't having panic attacks recently. I haven't had panic attacks in years, but what I've had recently is every once in a while, if I don't get enough sleep, or if I drink too much alcohol and I wake up at the wrong time or something, or I go to sleep at the wrong time, I'll end up having an ego death. And it's like I'll have a really dramatic ego death. Like I had a bad trip off of some hallucinogen, and it's like I'm just fucking sober and I'm trying to sleep or wake up, and I'm going through all this bullshit. And that's where I discovered that if I start doing this breathing exercise when I get in that state, it can pretty much rip me out of that state and ground me to reality again. Let me know that, hey, dude, you're just waking up or going to sleep. You're not dying. It's just a shift of consciousness. It's temporary.
As an aside, though, one of the horrors of life is we breathe oxygen, but we need it to survive, obviously. But it actually can cause damage in your body, oxidization, which is insane when you think about it. That which gives you life and you need in your body can cause you to literally rust inside. It interacts with your iron. I think it
Yeah.
interacts with a lot of things in your body, and
And
it
that's why we need
causes all.
antioxidants. Yeah. I know what
Yeah,
you're
yeah, it's
saying.
crazy. It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh yeah. No,
It's
what I
like,
think is
what
even
the fuck?
crazier about
The
that.
thing that gives us life and we need is actually damaging us as well. Like, what the fuck?
What I think is even crazier is technically oxygen is a narcotic. That's the thing that I think is
I
trippy.
wish.
Oh no,
I
it
wish.
literally is a narcotic.
No,
It's like,
in high amounts, it can make you euphoric, right?
oh, I'm
Ooh,
not even talking about
do that.
amounts or strength. I'm talking about literally the gases we breathe and the physiological and neurological effects. Basically, all of the gases we breathe, except for neon and I think it was helium. Neon and helium are the only gases that don't have a change in our conscious state. All the other gases have narcotic effects, you know, whether it's nitrous
So yeah, sorry.
oxide or even oxygen.
Oxygen, am I right though? It can make you kind of feel high if you get like pure oxygen. Like
Oh
Hypoxia,
yeah,
can
no,
make you
yeah.
feel
it can
high, right?
definitely do those things. That's what I'm saying. If that
Yeah.
I can actually get too much oxygen, and all of a sudden it makes my brain, you know, be going into hyperdrive times two, and it's like I'm already in hyperdrive, man. I can't process this much without fucking falling apart. I need to slow down, ground myself.
Have you tried drinking?
Yeah, actually, Sage, for all your mushroom eating and fucking narcotic abuse over the years, have you ever had like a pint of Guinness or a fucking,
Had a bender.
flagon of whiskey?
Oh no, I
Yeah.
definitely drink. I just don't drink that often. I don't really like drinking, but I have discovered that if I
Right.
don't have like at least one drink a month, if I don't, you know, have one day that I get tipsy a month, I discover I just the pessimism and you know the cynicism starts rising. It's like
Well, one
have at
drink a
least
month
a
is enough
drink
to keep all that
a
away.
month.
Christ. If it was
What was
Nice.
that?
just one drink a month is enough to keep the demons at bay. You're a lucky man.
What is this elixir? What is this elixir
Maybe not
that
all
you're?
of them, but enough of them.
Yeah, exactly.
What is
What is
this?
it that you're drinking?
What is it? What are you drinking that pushes this all away?
Just alcohol. I vodka, whiskey, you know, freaking twisted
Hmm.
teas, whatever. I just need to get, you know, tipsy at
I
least once a month so I
yeah.
don't fucking
I
become a grouchy old asshole.
I don't drink, but sometimes I think I might drink wine or something.
Oh,
Like a
I love
glass of
red
red wine.
wine.
It is
White
nice,
I,
wine.
but
I
there's a
Oh,
little
used
bit
to,
I
of
I
it.
used to
cannot
throw the stuff
tolerate
back.
white
I used to
wine though.
throw it
White
back, but
wine
these
tastes
days
like
not so much.
vodka and butter to me. I'm like, why would you melt butter in vodka? White wine tastes atrocious to me.
Mm, Sorry, you said you have
Yeah,
dogs. You used to throw the stuff back.
I used to go out and benders quite regularly, but
Mm.
not anymore. You know.
Yeah, same here. Haven't
I
drank
think
for
I
over
think
20 years.
the problem with stopping your going out on benders is you do lose the tolerance. Because I remember when I gave up drinking, and I used to be able to fucking drink anyone under the table.
Mm.
And then when I stopped, and then I went on a work do like a year and a half later, and I ended up having a few pints that night. I actually had a blackout. You know what I mean? Just from a few. You know what I mean? Because
Wow.
I actually lost.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
actually
The
lost that much
tolerance.
of my
Yep.
tolerance. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
And I didn't remember going to bed in the hotel.
Jeez.
Yeah. So and that happened twice, I think, that year when because I completely lost my tolerance, basically.
I hear you. I
So
hear you.
because it makes sense though, because you do build up. It takes a while to build up that tolerance. Do you remember being a teenager or whenever you start drinking, the vomiting, etc.? If you drank too much, and then like
Oh
it's
yeah.
literally it's a toxin going into your body. It is, and it's a
Oh yeah.
Oh,
neurotoxin.
Yeah.
alcohol has always been
And
weird with me with that. The tolerances, my God, I can't tell if I have a reverse tolerance or a massive tolerance or no tolerance.
yeah. Mm,
The thing with alcohol with
it,
me is you got to be careful because it's an addictive dissociative. So, you know, like it's going to get you into outer space, not grounded as much. And it has that addictive quality to it where, you know, the
I've heard
second it
it. I've
starts
heard it
running
called.
out, you're
I've
like,
heard
I
it.
want more.
I've heard it called a depressant. I think it's more of a depressant because of what it does to you the next day. Because it doesn't really depress you on the night, does it? It makes you calm, I suppose. Is
Yep.
that why it's called a depressant? Because it makes you
Yeah, it has a
calm.
huge rebound
Um,
effect. That's what I'm talking about. That
Yeah, but this
rebound.
is disassociation. I
Oh, it
suppose there
definitely
is
has
an element.
dissociation.
There
It
is an
affects the
element.
NMDA receptors, just like
Is
DXM
that
or
what
freaking angel
is that
dust
what
does.
makes you feel at ease? Kind of when you're. Is that what it is? That what that is when you're drinking? You know, you feel at ease
Yeah,
and you.
no, that's definitely a part of the euphoriant that you get out of it.
Oh,
Not just the euphoriant of the high,
I'm
but
trying
also
to
the
work out what the
relaxation.
What do you mean by disassociation? That's what I mean. Well, what is that? I've heard it.
Dissociation, that's that well, there's three different types of hallucinations. There's delirious hallucinations where that's where you literally don't know what is real and what's not. Nobody really likes fucking with those. They're dangerous poisons, and you don't know, you lose your sanity.
That's what real hardcore alcoholics get, the tremors, you know, the
Oh
delirium
yeah, no,
tremor,
exactly. Then
and
there's dissociatives.
they start hallucinating and seeing things. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what they get. That's
That,
so.
so
Then what else could?
dissociatives are the class of hallucinogens that make you feel detached from reality. That's their main effect. So that's what alcohol does, is it helps detach you from reality enough, and that's also why it helps
Well,
you,
yeah, I mean,
with the inhibitions.
I definitely think alcohol detaches you from the wider world and makes you think about the night in progress. You know what I mean? It makes you think
Yep.
about having fun or enjoying the moment rather than thinking about anything else. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely did that for me anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just reminds me a lot of nitrous oxide. It's not quite as addictive because it's longer acting, but nitrous oxide is really similar in just some of the addictive physiological effects. You just keep wanting to do more. I find whenever I drink, the one day a month I drink, I pretty much binge drink. It's like, I started drinking, I can't stop. But I drink a small amount over time. Here's a shot this hour, next hour another shot. I don't go getting blackout drunk or none of that shit.
So what do you do? Do you have
Yeah.
like a scheduled day in your calendar or something? Today's my drinking
No,
day.
no, I just get to a part in the month where all of a sudden, I can tell that I'm getting all this, like, I feel compressed. The world feels like it's pushing down onto me, and I'm getting compressed. And the second I start feeling like I'm coal turning into a diamond, all right, dude, that's the time you need to drink, bro. Get out some alcohol, de-stress your shit, like uncompress.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So right. That's interesting. Now, chickpea, you don't drink
Mhm.
chickpea, but you used to be a
No,
right
drank
little.
over.
You used to be a
Had
right
drank
little
over.
boozy floozy. You
Yes,
used to be a right
I
little
used to
boozy
be. Yeah,
floozy.
yeah, I was. Yes, stopped over 20 years ago. I stopped smoking and
Mm,
drinking, and I haven't done either
mm.
since. I daren't have a
No,
drink
but
because I want a cigarette. I daren't.
it's really interesting, and I have a great belief that human evolution has just gone hand in hand with drinking and probably, you know, drug taking in some format,
Oh yeah.
even accidental.
Yeah.
Like, like I remember reading about this years ago when they say as soon as we came down from the trees and we were walking in the
Yes.
grasslands of Africa, we were flipping over cow shit or whatever they are, wildebeest
Right.
shit, and eating the fucking fungi that fucking grew
Yes.
under them. And the
Yes.
same for fermented fruits. When we were in the trees,
Yes.
they say that chimpanzees, I don't know what the equivalence is, but they have like quite a considerable amount of alcohol every day, if not every week, or if not every day, based on the fermented fruits they eat. And they say it
Oh,
does help with the relaxation, social bonding, etc., etc.
yeah, it does do. Yeah.
So yeah, you can imagine chimpanzees. If there's any species that needs to chill out a bit, it's probably chimpanzees.
Mm,
So it stops
So
them
all
ripping
you
the
yeah.
head off each other.
exarrhythmic
Huh.
people just need to
Yeah,
drink
that's what I was
more.
just about to say. Maybe that's the only reason they haven't extincted themselves yet is the booze, because the bonobos
Yeah,
don't have that problem.
no, they're too busy fucking rubbing each other's genitalia, aren't
Exactly,
they?
man. They're too busy screwing to be killing each other.
Doesn't sound like a bad deal.
Yeah.
But chimps are actually violent motherfuckers, man. They're
Oh
Yeah,
violent.
yeah,
aren't they?
They're not,
Yeah.
for reals.
And they say
Yeah.
that we as human beings are like half bonobo, half chimp in our ways.
Yeah.
We're
Oh, I've never heard that before.
we're
That makes a lot of
yeah,
sense, though. Yeah.
yeah. We've got the kind of warmongering, hate, anger, tribalism, but we've also got the empathy, caring side as well.
Yep.
So they say humans are this strange hybrid kind of version of a chimp and a bonobo. And it's interesting
Huh.
because they are our nearest relatives. You know, yeah.
I often bring this book when people have this discussion. There's a book by a guy called Michael Giglieri called The Dark Side of Man, and it goes into all that, the chimp stuff and how
Oh.
it relates to male violence. It's really interesting.
All
Huh.
right.
Yeah,
It's
that would be interesting.
one of the best books I've read on the subject, if anyone's interested.
Well, better write that one down, guys. What's it called?
The Dark Side of Man, Michael Giglieri. That should be enough to you'll find it on Amazon. But it's a great book. It's one of the best books I've read on the subject.
Giglieri. I mean, I'm just gonna fucking put in Giggly in the fucking thing.
Ghiglieri.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah, that is all very interesting stuff. And as I've said on this channel before, when I found out that, you know, we had this ancestor Homo erectus who basically had our physical characteristics, didn't have our brain to the degree that it is developed now, but had our physical biology otherwise. And that poor fucker was walking around on this planet for 3 million years. You know what I mean? And when I think about that, sometimes it does scare me because I think, holy shit, that's a lot of time to be walking around this planet without any fucking National Health Service.
It wasn't just one dude. You realize it was a lot of people.
Yeah, I know,
Is
but
it people?
I
You
was,
call them people?
yeah. But still, it just there's just something profound about it, something strange to think that there was this near human walking around for 3 million years and didn't really get up to much, only, you know, walking around and picking berries and fighting and whatever, you know.
But you're saying
yeah.
it didn't have the same brain capacity we have. Is that the point?
Well, apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it was wiser than us. Maybe it realized
Yeah, I was
there's
just
no
going to
point
say
in developing.
maybe that wasn't a bad
Yeah,
thing.
I was about to say the brain capacity, it doesn't equate to the neuronal density and all this different stuff.
Yeah.
So
I know. Maybe
Oh,
it
I
was a
don't mean
genius.
physical
Maybe
capacity.
it said there's no point in getting any better than this because we'll just develop AI and fuck it all up. So we'll just chill out.
Exactly.
oh my goodness. Well, fuck, if we keep sticking on with investing on binary AI, I don't see anything happening but fucking things up.
What's that? Binary AI? What did you just say?
Yeah, just the regular AI we're using, how we're using binary code, regular base
Oh,
computing. It's like we need, higher base numbers, or we need quantum computing to create true, AI that actually can help solve things, that there's this AI bound to human language and math, all this, these dualistic black and white concepts. It can't get into that quantum uncertainty territory that you need for creating truly vast computational data, these incredibly complex fucking scenarios we're setting it up for.
I mean, all that shit, quantum entanglement, it just fries my brain. I mean, I dip in and out of it now and again, but when I do, it just fucking sounds like fucking woo woo, doesn't it? It just sounds like what the fuck is going on, like you just the fact that they can possibly utilize this in computing now, or they're on the cusp of developing these machines that will just be even more powerful than anything we've ever known, and that in tandem with AI. I mean, what the fuck is going to happen? It's unbelievable.
That's where it all depends on the market growth and how the energies are, what avenues they're being directed toward. I was just realizing
there is a unless we can sort out the energy side of things.
Yep,
Then
that's exactly
there
what I was
is
thinking. I was
yeah.
watching a thing on nuclear power earlier, and I was realizing the same kind of thing. It's like, in many ways, nuclear fission and nuclear fusion are so fucking similar. Like compared to this age-old form of power we've been using. I mean, think about it. If we replaced all the coal-firing plants with nuclear fission, yeah, it's not as good as nuclear fusion, but by comparison, it's going to look like infinite energy to this coal-burning fuel plants.
Global has recommended another book called Doing Nothing, Coming to the End of the Spiritual Search by Stephen Harrison. Okay, Global. Thanks for that. If you could write that on a comment, Global, underneath the video afterwards, that would be good as well.
That reminds me of another book, by Aya Kemmer, Doing Nothing, Being Nothing, Going Nowhere.
Sounds like Alan Watts, something Alan Watts would have said.
Same kind of vibe, yeah.
Yes, I mean, talking about the energy, though, Sage, I believe that's one of the arguments for the Fermi's paradox, why we can't find signs of life, because once we get to a degree of amazing technological ability, we haven't got the energy to continue, right? That is
I think I sort of get what you're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about like Dyson spheres and stuff.
Like we end up well, life ends up fucking up its planet, its host planet, because it's racing towards technological utopia, but in doing so, it's unable, or it has been unable, to deal with the effects of that, on the environment.
Oh, okay, that's reverse of what I was talking. Okay,
there comes a point when they're just not able to match the technology with the energy requirements, and they end up degrading and falling apart.
I thought you were talking like Dyson spheres, like the era, the epochs of power growth for our species. That once we get Dyson spheres, we'll be able to, convert all of the solar energy out of a sun, surround it by all these, conversion units, and literally convert like 99.9% of all of the available energy from the sun and directly convert that into energy for our planetary or interstellar use. So, and that's what they were saying, from what I was hearing, that we need to get much more power before we're able to actually have contact with these entities.
Mate, you probably know about this, but I remember reading about something. There was something speculating on how to slow down the sun's death. I don't know I can't remember what it was, but it involved sending probes to the sun to shoot back the plasma, to put it back in or something to stop it coming out. It was a crazy fucking scientific fucking paper. I remember reading about it, but it was like, what the fuck? But anyway, and also they have spoken about trying to move the planet as well. Some people speculate on that. Moving the planet, like basically as the sun is dying, like the heat, like expanding, move the sun further. Sorry, move the Earth a bit away so that it doesn't, get singed.
Man, we all watched way too much Futurama as children.
I know. No, these are actually academic papers, but that doesn't say much,
Oh, I'm just referring to the sci-fi and the academia, how that circle, that loop, how Star Trek came up with the fucking cell phones before cell phones,
Right. So you were saying there, Yuff?
Yeah, I mean, in contrast to what you just said there's another paper I read where some guy was talking about how the human race could blow up the sun, for the purposes of extinction, kind of like an Nephilim thing. But so all these papers exist out there, don't they? We can stop the sun from exploding, but then there's another guy on the other end of the spectrum saying, no, we can make it explode sooner.
I bet the sun.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm coming to the opinion now. I'm not totally off this opinion, because I do believe that, but it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of half serious as well. I think that a lot of people in academia are just doing crap because they can't do physics, maths, science.
And
they haven't really got
they
haven't really got a brain in their head like that is comparable to anybody to listen to. You know what I mean? And they're just middle class
publication bias.
They're just middle class dandies, fucking wasting their time and wasting everyone else's time. Sorry to say that.
Yep. No, I agree.
No, I would agree with that.
And
it's like the problem with the publication bias.
That's not to say they couldn't have good use in the world, but their probably use is being practical, getting out into the workforce and doing something,
Well, it's also capitalism.
Rather than writing crap papers that don't do anything, But yeah, I mean, look, it's the industrial educational complex. What are you going to do? It's making money for the fat cats. So it's all about making smiles and fucking giving people certificates, making them think they're somebody.
Exactly. Let's forge some research papers to appeal to investors, Fucking A. It's crazy.
But I tell you what I did like, you have to what you brought up the other day with that Emil Torres, and you were talking about his different his views, his investigations into what's going on in the Silicon Valley in terms of extinctionists, and I thought that was interesting. I
Hmm.
wasn't quite sure why he was calling it replacement antinatalism, though. It didn't seem quite to be antinatalism, did it?
Yeah, I've challenged
In
him
my-
on that. He hasn't responded.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I think it's just people being too creative, trying to make stuff up. I don't think it
No,
means anything.
I think it's not quite eugenics either. It's like good minds only instead of good gene, because it's not genetic, is it? It's like they want the good minds to continue. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what there isn't a
Yeah.
term for that. I don't believe, but it's like
It's based on that whole hereditary IQ thing, which obviously
yeah,
is
yeah,
legitimate.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
but
yeah,
there's
yeah.
just yeah. I think it takes a
I
lot of
don't
fucking-
think I don't think it's AN though. I don't think it is AN. In my view, anyway.
they
Nuance
talk
per take could be considered an
Because
aspect of antinatalism.
the thing
I
with
think
There's a lot of
most of them.
semantics
I think
here.
it's the
I think
single
most
position.
of them. I think most of them would continue having kids to get to that goal. You know, they'd pass that baton onto their kids if we don't achieve it as a generation. You know what I mean?
But he was.
That's what I.
But Torres wasn't arguing that everybody in Silicon Valley is of one mind. Like some are
No, I
some
know
are
that. I know
vehemently
that.
pro-natalist and some aren't. You know.
I know
so,
that. I know that. I know that.
mm.
I know that. But what I mean is, the people who have that view that only the good mind should continue in a synthetic form, I'd say that if they don't see it on the near horizon, they would have kids trying to pass that goal on to them. You know what I mean? That's what my
Right.
belief is. So,
But I mean, you're
hello to
also aware of how a lot of these LLMs, I mean, they're scraping Reddit and fucking Facebook for their information. So it's not like they're learning from the greatest minds.
no, that's right. That's the funny thing about it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because they're basically paying websites for the junk. You know what I mean? They're paying Reddit.
Yeah.
They're paying all these.
Just-
That's what's feeding this.
I think
Twitter,
Reddit
for
was the
fuck's
number
sake.
one website where they scrape information from. Which
Oh
just
yeah,
fucking,
Twitter is the number one.
holy
Yeah.
I
shit.
presume
And
they
what a
scrape.
cesspool for the number one fucking information. Yeah, I agree with you. That's like using fucking Reddit for your number one fucking source.
No, they
Like,
do. They use
oh.
Reddit. Reddit's their number one scraping source. At
They
least
do.
according to what I
They do.
read. I don't know. You know.
But this is the public AI. I'm sure there are other AI, that are used by maybe big corporations, very powerful individuals that utilize whatever data they want. You know what I mean? It's just they
Yeah.
can't do that in public because they'd be sued for it. You know what I mean? So that is worrying. That is like, look, there are probably AI LLMs out there that are in private hands or in the hands of very powerful individuals that are using like libraries of academic papers, libraries of research, in that kind of thing, and they have access to information that the LLMs we see don't. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that the military has stuff that we
Yeah.
don't we'll never see. I'm sure of that.
And I
Military,
imagine
yes. Academia, less so.
And in actual fact, I'd say that it's like the public facing AI LLMs are probably funding those ones. That's where they're getting the money to build those ones behind the
And
scenes
I
for
think also
themselves.
bear in mind, I think a lot of the stuff we see from these, like from OpenAI and all that shit, a lot of it's just fucking the stuff they publish publicly is just to get investor cash. I don't know how much.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
But
100%.
is that too conspiratorial? Like, is that too far fetched? What I just said there, I think that they're probably using the public facing LLMs, which aren't that good, to gain money for their private ventures in like
I
building
wouldn't be
these things.
surprised at all to find
No,
out
it
that
actually makes
they've
sense
got
because
stuff
this
which
is
is
something
worlds
I've
ahead of what
noticed.
we've
Is
got.
I've noticed actually some of the hyper specialty LLMs actually really suck compared to big name ones like OpenAI. I used a Bible one recently a few months ago, and it literally said that Catholics aren't Christians and that they essentially don't exist. And I'm going,
Yeah.
okay, this is a Bible AI, and it's saying like one of the biggest groups of Christians in the world don't exist, and that they're not Christian. Like, okay, there's some obvious bias and bullshit and
I
just
think
bad information being programmed into this.
I think
It doesn't have this
these
vast
public
data sets.
Yeah, I think the public facing LLMs are immensely overhyped. And I was like, the Chat GPT 5 is a laughing stock. I mean, it's so shit. I think the 3.5 was better. You know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of people saying that. Now, as I said, I think it's a cash cow. I think it's a cash cow for these fucking tech companies. And they're doing other shit behind the scenes, probably with the American government, with whoever, with powerful elites to build the real shit that will give, you know, the power to those that really want it, you know, and can
That's
afford
my
it.
whole thing, though, is that my whole thing is that, you know, that making a hyper specialty, you know, military large language model, it's actually probably going to be less efficient than a generalized model with all this different data sets, you know.
Can you
And
say
when
that
you're
again?
dealing with something
Sorry,
like
can you say that again? What was your point?
the the uh,
Because
basically
look,
the
before you say anything, my point is you're putting shit, you're dumping a load of shit into the public facing LLMs. It's crap. It's just crap going into them. Crap in, crap out. You know what I mean? But I'm saying I actually don't think there's anything wrong theoretically with the system, as in like the workings of how it does its thing. It recognizes patterns and it spews out what the results of its pattern recognition. But the problem is its pattern recognition is based on crap going into it. So I'm saying if there is a behind the scenes secret fucking AI fucking LLM that we don't know about, that the government has or these powerful individuals have, and they're putting real quality data into it, I would say that stuff, that thing is amazing. I would say that is actually amazing. And I'd
oh, I
say
don't
we
believe
don't.
that exists.
Well, why not? I mean, it's just about is it not the case that it's about the data you put into it? Is that not a lot of it?
Yeah, no, that's a lot of it, but there's things like the publication bias, for instance. You know, again, you know, the market and there's all these complex factors. You know, when people are being paid to create you know, false research documents, and then they're being treated as real and being injected into AI for its data training. You know, you're not going to get any valid data out of, you know, false research studies. You know,
Right,
and
right, right.
that's where, you know, we haven't sorted out our own categorization bullshit as a human species, and we're trying to get AI to fix it through our interventions. It doesn't make much sense.
I mean, I stand by what I said. I think that is potentially true what I've said. But does anybody know anybody, or have they spoken to anybody who's making serious coin of AI at the moment? You know, I don't think there's that many people making really
Not
good money
not
from it. You know,
not so much on the investor side, but I know a couple of
yeah,
guys who are.
I'm saying from the average Joe using these LLMs. I'm not talking about the
Oh
people
right,
who
I
own the
see, I
fucking.
see,
I'm
I
not
see.
talking about the people who run
Yeah,
the
there's no
fucking
mom and
LLM.
pop shop AIs. I get what you're saying.
No,
There's
there's
no
a
one.
Kiwi guy. There's a Kiwi guy on YouTube who claims that he's making like serious coin out of
Yeah.
AI agents, etc. I'll find his channel.
Oh, there's a
Yeah,
ton
I
of
mean,
people saying that
yeah, there's a
though.
lot of people saying it, but I
right.
don't know if I believe them all.
Yeah,
Oh
that's the
yeah,
point.
no,
What
I
Yeah.
don't believe that. That's some more of that fucking.
I think they're pushing courses, and I think
Yep,
they're making money in
exactly.
that way. So, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm sorry, but I don't look at the characters involved in all of this. Sam Altman. I mean, I don't trust that guy as far as I could
Mm.
throw him. And do you really think he's going to give? I think if they had the potential to do amazing things, they'd keep it in house. You know what I mean? Or they'd give it to their friends or their, you know, the cronies. They wouldn't be giving it to other individuals, perhaps
Okay,
even their
that
enemies.
aspect, I see where you're coming from, and that aspect I do agree, because that's one thing I've noticed with the entertainment industries is that you'd think with the deep fake technology and the GPTs and all this stuff that they would you know, be putting this in our entertainment field already. You know, that they'd
Mm.
already be releasing new video games with, you know, Chat GBT integrated NPCs, and they'd be making new Hollywood films with, you know, using deep fake
It's just a matter of
technology,
time.
but
It's just
you
a
don't
matter of
see any
time.
of that.
It's just
And
a matter of time. They'll get onto that. There's no doubt, and I'm pretty sure as well. The reason they make the stuff they make available to the public, is probably just for training purposes. That's the reason they do it.
hmm. Well, to me, it doesn't make much sense, you know. And where's the film auteurs, and you know, where's the people like James Cameron going? I'm not making the next Avatar until I have fucking, you know, deepfake technology for it. You know, it doesn't make much sense the way things are. It seems like there's a gatekeeping of the AI from the entertainment industry.
No
Yeah,
idea.
I think it's training purposes, but also I do believe it's probably data collection as well.
I don't know. Maybe the
I
government's
mean,
worried Hollywood will get access to
people
deepfake
are going on
technology,
these
and
things.
somebody will get access to Hollywood's technology, and it will become a huge geopolitical event. So maybe there's some
Yeah.
real reasons for this. What I perceive as this gatekeeping, but maybe doesn't exist. Maybe it does. Who knows?
Sage, where do you get all your
But look,
information from? It just sounds like you're just like a YouTube addicted video watcher. Like, where do you get your info from?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, my info. I get it from research and firsthand experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
guys, for a little bit we got left. We got Brother Marcus there. Hello to you.
Oh,
Hope
Marcus
you
is
can
around.
come on. Yeah. Global is there, but he never comes on. I don't know what
Oh, Marcus
Global.
in the
I
chat.
don't know
I don't
why.
normally read the chat.
Yeah, Global is there, and Agnostic XX. Hello to you too. If you want to come on, I have no idea what you're on about there. As usual, Agnostic. No offense, but you said human race or human species. What is it? Okay. Well, if you care to explain what you mean by that, perhaps we can have a conversation. But writing these cryptic fucking messages as you seem to do quite a lot leaves me none the wiser, and that's a shame because you seem fully invested in what you're saying. So I urge you to come on here and talk, and tell us what you mean. But nice to see you, Agnostic XX. And Brother Marcus says, define research. Yeah, I mean, look, again, we could talk about that till the cows come home. With this industrial fucking educational complex, that's one side of it. But then I do believe there's another side to it, and that is the ideological biases of academic institutions. And also whether we like it or not, the corporate influence on academic institutions. People say it's not there,
Oh
but
yeah.
it is. I don't know if studies are completely independent or unbiased a lot of the time.
If you're
But
interested in this stuff, there's a great account on X. I hope I pronounce it right. It's called CremiU. That sounds.
yeah,
It's. I don't know if you're aware of it, but he
send it
knows
to
how to
us. Send
read
it to
studies.
us if you could. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
right, okay, I will. But he's great. Oh, it could be a she. I don't know who it is, but the person behind it is really really good at going through studies. And basically, a lot of the studies this person shows, it just shows that they're all nonsense. Like a lot of the stuff we take as home truths. I'll put that in the chat. He's a great
Yeah,
person, or she, whatever.
yeah.
A great
Yeah.
follow.
Mm. Mm. If you were a youngster going to university now, what would you? I know you might not go to university. You might go and become a plumber or something.
I wouldn't do university if I was young now. No, not.
Universities for autodacts. The system is set up the way it is, and we need to create new avenues for people.
Brother Marcus says he's upset with some academics right now. There you go.
That's a very loaded comment.
I know we need to bring back glove slapping. Like we need some of these academics to get a rightful glove slap to the side of the cheek.
Agnostic says dog races or the dog species. What is it? LOL. Cat races or the cat species. What is it?
What about
There you
dog
go.
strains? Like pugs. There's a strain of pug, not just the breed of pug, but there's also the
Oh, I
strain of
heard. So, was it
pug.
you telling me this crazy thing that there's this like? I didn't believe you. Sorry, but something about pugs being unrelated to other dogs, and they just popped up in China, like apparently not related to other dogs somehow
I don't know if
genetically.
they are or not. That's the thing that they came. They have an ancient history going back to 400 BC, and so
They
it's really
come.
wild stuff.
They can breed with other dogs, right? A Chihuahua and a pug get it on. There's going to be a little puppy, right?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think it's one of those ones where small dogs can breed with other small dogs. I don't think you getting a Great Dane to breed with a pug is gonna be really
No.
successful.
The Great Dane would have to be lying on its side, and the pug would have to come on, and yeah. I mean, it
Oh
could
my
happen.
God! Everybody always has to give the visualizations with the big dog and small dog. No one can just leave it at that. Everyone always has to give a visualization.
Yerf Dog says Cremiux Recule is the account which did into research. There you go. So that's on X.
Yeah.
Cool. By the way, there's about 10 people watching. If you do want to come in and talk, please do. The link is in the chat. We are live on Twitter, by the way, so feel free to retweet that or whatever if you're on there. We don't have any Twitter people coming on here again. I thought I'd give it a lash because last time I did the Twitter thing, it was like, I don't know, it was £30 or something. Now he's brought it down to £8 a month, and you can do the streaming again. So I thought I'd give it a go. You know,
Is that a
yeah.
is that just a special discount or is
No,
it
it's just as it is what it is. Yeah, I presume, but weirdly, more people watched it last time. Nobody watches it at all on Twitter now, so it's really weird. I am the most underground of underground fucking streamers, and you know, I'm probably going to pop my head up and say hello to Andrew McIntosh. You know, and that I'm that far underground. You know, he's in Australia, by the way, so that if you know what I mean, down under. But yeah, so that's it. I'm just going to go and get a drink. Chickpea, do you want to break the awkwardness and say something?
I've been switched off all this time. I've been very quiet tonight. That's right, no answer.
Oh, we've probably been going over your head a little bit with all this AI discussions, huh?
Yeah, just a bit. Well, you know, it's not something I know anything about. Well, it terrifies me.
Well, you see, Chickpea, you did use computers at work, didn't you? Because you were like
yes.
when you were paralegal. No, not paralegal. You were a legal secretary, right? So
Yeah.
you used computers, right?
Yes. Yeah,
But yeah, you knew how to use a computer back in the day. But
yes.
and obviously you're using one now. So you know, even though you are an older individual, still young at heart and still with it, thankfully. What the hell do you think of all the developments you've seen and you are seeing in your lifetime, by the way? Can you remember your childhood and compare it to now, technologically? Are you absolutely shocked to the core as to like what has happened? I mean, you've seen a wealth, if that's the right word, of technological advancement.
Yeah.
And it must feel like when you think back to your childhood, even it must seem like it was, I don't know, like a different fucking it must feel like eons ago in terms of technological change, you know?
Well, I love computers and I love technology. You know, I do love computers. I love the internet and I'd be lost without it. And I remember when I was young, you have to sit there with your manual typewriter. God, you make my hands sore and your shorthand. And I was really pleased when computers came into being and everything.
Yeah, that's one thing, guys. I reckon Chickpea was the best typist out of the lot of us because they didn't fuck around in those days.
Yeah.
I reckon you were a serious.
I
was going to say, I reckon you were a serious words per minute person. Yeah, honestly, when I went to university, I couldn't even fucking type properly. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really use computers. But like I soon worked it out. I soon worked it out when I was getting deadlines and shit.
Yeah.
But it's these typists and that back in the day, Chickpea, they were unbelievable.
Yeah, but
typing is a fascinating thing. Like stenographers, you know, most people don't even know that a stenographer typing is completely different than a normal QWERTY keyboard.
It's not the same. I was a stenographer.
Ah, were you now?
Yeah, a stenographer is a shorthand typist.
Oh, well, some people shorthand with the written word or shorthand on actual typewriters. So, you know, I was a little conflated.
That's a court reporter.
So you were taking like minute. You'd be taking minutes of meetings, Chickpea.
Yeah.
And you'd be typing it in shorthand just to get it all out there.
No, you need to be a court reporter for that. You need a special machine.
Yeah, that's the stenographer machine.
Yeah,
that's
machine. Yeah, I used to.
So you did shorthand on a typewriter.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that, Chickpea.
Well, it's what they use in the courts. You know, this special machine that types shorthand, as opposed to using your hands to write shorthand. I never used one because I never worked in the courts, and I wish I had done, but I didn't.
Shorthand
learn.
is quite the skill actually.
Yeah,
Journalists
I
use it
loved
as well.
it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I did. Loved
Definitely.
it.
Not many people even know what shorthand is nowadays.
Yeah, no.
No,
I know.
it's also
No, I
it's a great skill. I would say people should learn it, because I remember in university we had to take our notes in the lectures pen and paper. You know,
Yeah.
back in the old days,
Yeah.
and there were some. I remember my friend knew some shorthand, and he used to really use that in the lectures, and it was like,
Yes.
wow, you know, he was
Yeah.
much better at taking the notes.
Yes.
Fuck, maybe I actually would have taken some notes in school if I was able to do shorthand. They
Yeah.
taught us
Well, you
that
know,
things.
I loved it. Yeah, I liked being a secretary. I did. It was
There were
fun.
some posh kids with laptops in my class at uni, but you know, most of us.
Yeah,
But
I
I'll
was
tell
the
you something.
same.
I wish the internet had been there when I was young, because my life would have turned out differently. It would have done. It would have
For
turned
the
out
better or
differently.
for the worse?
Huh?
For the better or for the worse?
Work better. Better. It would have done, because I've learned so much from the internet. So much. I love it.
But then they say these younger generations are the most anxious and depressed there are, and they grew up with the internet, should be. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Yes,
if you're right.
Well, yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I suppose. Yes.
I think I think perhaps we benefit from having something to compare life to. Yeah. And we're able to compare and contrast the internet age with life before it, and also take the good from the internet and latch it onto our, you know, preconceived ways of looking at the world. Whereas people who grew up in the internet are just immersed in it and don't know any better, and it's just like they are literally victims of the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least we.
I know
You
what
know,
you're saying, but there is some nuance with that because, like, I grew up with the internet, you know, like the freaking dial up and AOL online, instant messenger, all that stuff. But at the same time, I often say I'm not a strict millennial, you know, I'm because I sort of fall in between the gaps of Gen X and millennials. You know, I grew up with the internet, but I also grew up with cassette players, and you know, my grandparents had a leaded car, gasoline engine, you know, all this different stuff that I grew up with that most millennials have no clue, you know, that some of these things existed, let alone how to use them or just the dynamics at play. So I find generations a fascinating
yeah,
cultural thing.
But you
I'm
know
a
what I think?
geriatric
Sorry.
millennial, and I grew up with the tapes as well when I was a kid, and I remember actually taping the kind of the radio on a. I don't know what day of the week it was. Maybe it was a Sunday or something when they did like the top ups, like the chart,
Yeah.
Right?
Oh
and you used to get like. And the bastards used to always like fucking name the radio station at the beginning and the end of the song. So because you were trying to get the most of the song without
yeah.
the annoying DJ, but
Right?
they always got you, man.
You know what I
You know?
think has been bad for society is the TV. I'm very
Mm.
anti-TV, and I haven't watched TV
The
for about
idiot box, the idiot box. I have
idiot
to say,
box.
my
I
older
think
Yeah.
it's
sister.
more
Well,
how we've
my
engaged with art.
I tell you something. I think it's
I
more than
will
just
say, my
idiot
older
box.
sister never watched television after she
Yeah.
left home. She
Yeah.
went to university and did her
Yeah.
did her
I
thing. She
haven't
did very
watched
well,
much.
but
Yeah.
she
I
just
love
she never
television.
watched television. Yeah.
No,
I
I
just don't
find it
watch
very
crap. I don't
pernicious.
watch reality
Um,
television. I don't watch
But
sensationalized
Sage,
documentaries.
Sage,
Yeah, yeah.
you know they can use subliminal brainwashing on the TV. You know, programming. It's not called a program for nothing. They're programming us.
Oh,
And
everything
on the
everything can be
TV, the reason
subliminal, you know. You
why
just
it's so
have to have awareness and willpower to defeat it.
yeah, the reason why it's so lovely to watch is because it's hypnotic. It is actually hypnotic, which is one of the reasons why watching a film on TV is much nicer than watching that same film on your laptop. It's a totally different thing. But I find the TV bad news, and it amazes me. People are glued
there
to
is
the damn
something
thing.
about that. It's probably to do with the audio quality or something. I don't know what it is, but you're
No,
right. There's
it
something more
is a
pleasurable about
hypnotic.
watching.
It's very, very pleasurable.
It
Very
must be something to
pleasurable.
do with the resonance of the sound or something
Yeah,
as well. I don't know, but
it's
there's
something to do with the
For
the
me, it's the
whole
visual. It's as a young
there's
child, I
a certain
recognized that
comforting there's a certain weird comforting
it's like a
fuzziness
lava lamp.
yes,
It's so
from a
exactly.
TV.
calming.
It's very, very
Yeah.
comforting,
By
which
the
is
way,
bad.
guys, let's welcome Brother Marcus. He's been waiting patiently there. Hello, Brother Marcus. We
Must
are
be setting up his
welcoming.
mic still.
He might be, because I know that people have had problems. Brother Marcus, you might have to, if he's on Chrome, if he has to click on the 3 dots, isn't it, and allow
Yeah, go into
access to.
settings and allow microphone access for this site.
So
That's how I did it.
click on the 3 dots and then go to settings and then allow microphone access. Yeah.
But you know what I found great in 1980? You know the book 1984, which was written in 1948. How George Orwell saw everybody's homes with great big black screens on. And now we live in a world where everybody, apart from me, has got great big black screens in their homes. I'm the only person I know just own one.
Well, the telescreen is actually the smartphone that we
The
all voluntarily took it
TV,
on.
those
No, the
awful
smartphone.
things everybody's got
It
everywhere.
What do you
monitors
think
everything
about
you do.
projectors, Chickpea?
Oh, my friend's got one. Yeah, it's not as hypnotic, is it? It's a totally different medium.
I think that Nokia phone, the Nokia 3310, was the peak of human civilization.
All right.
I actually preferred the 3210. It was the 3210 I preferred because it was slimmer, and the 3310 was a little bit bulky. It was shorter in length than the 3210, but the 3210 was my first phone.
Okay.
And I got it because I went out to a nightclub at 15, by the way. Naughty me. But we didn't home. And my parents were really worried. And they made me get a phone. It's because we missed the bus. We missed the bus home. And we ended up we ended up going out into the middle of nowhere, and we tried to get home, but it took us a long time. But anyway, very young to go out, I suppose, in many ways, but that was just the culture I was in.
I beat you. I was doing that when I was 14.
Stories are fun.
So you were 14, were you? Okay.
14 when I was going tonight, yeah, because I you support a load of
I suppose I was 15 and 9 months. That's exactly what I was. Something like that. 15 and a half, maybe, actually.
When I was 14, we were living out in Bahrain for most of the time, and I used to go out with all these squaddies to all these nightclubs on Bahrain, and yeah, I was living a real life.
Brother Marcus says it crashed again. I don't know what the hell's going on, but
Chrome's crashing tonight. Happened to me twice.
Yerf Dogs managed to sort it out. I don't know what it is.
Use a different browser.
I recommend.
Marcus, are you on Chrome?
I reckon he is. Yeah.
I'm on Chrome.
I'm on the Microsoft one. It works fine.
I'm on Safari. The iPhone won't let me use Chrome with Restream.
What the fuck do you call the Microsoft one? I know it used to be Internet Explorer, but it's not
Windows.
that anymore. What's it called now?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's the
name, right? Yeah.
operating system.
Oh,
Edge. That's what it looks called
like
now. Edge.
Edge. That's it. That's it. Edge. Yeah. Edge. Yeah.
Oh God, Edge is terrible. Fuck, I miss Windows Explorer, Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer, yeah. Internet Explorer, hey.
Say that. I missed Internet Explorer. Okay.
I do. Edge is garbage, man. It's like a knockoff Chrome.
I think a lot of
talking about computers. I remember using my older sister had like this computer that her work gave her, and I used to use it because she used to bring it. She had left it at home when she didn't live with us at that stage, but she left it down there because I think she stayed doing some work. But obviously, where she worked, she had like loads of computers, so they left her this one, and I think I don't know what it was. I think it was like Windows 95, but it didn't have internet access. But what I did have was Sid Meier's Civilizations, and I was addicted to that shit.
Oh yeah,
I was in my last year in school, man. I think the last 2 years in school, I was addicted to that. I can't even remember which one it was. It was an old one. It was an old one. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys ever played that, but I
played Age of Empires too. That was my generation.
Did you ever? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yerf Dog, Sid Meier's Civilizations. It's like a strategy game.
I get when I mean, I'm not a gamer, but when I did, I was playing Jet Set Willy. I mean, that's how fucking long in the tooth
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Commodore 64 or something?
No, it was either that or an Atari. Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah. Well, I did play the Commodore 64 because I said it was in the house. I had a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo, but
I had a Genesis.
what do you call it? Genesis was that like the Nintendo version for PlayStation? Was it
That was the who made it? Sega
Sega?
made it. Yeah, Sega made it. You know, they made the Saturn and the Genesis, and you know, I grew up with Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis.
Brother Marcus says, "Do you remember Netscape? Is that the one where you got your music from it? Is that the one where you downloaded music, pirated music from it?
That was
Is that the one?
LimeWire, wasn't it? LimeWire or
Oh, there was
Napster?
one when I was because
Oh, I
we did
miss
have computer
LimeWire.
classes. We did have computer class in school, and that had internet.
We had
And
typing
you know, the
classes
people,
at school on
yeah, we had
typewriters.
fucking C++ programmer where they tried to teach us it, but nobody fucking listened.
Netscape. That sounds like an MSN browser or something.
I'm trying to remember what it was. No, there was this weird thing. I remember it was like a pirate music thing where you could just download music, and everyone used to upload music.
Oh, are you
to it and
talking about
download it.
Napster?
Napster, was it? Yeah, back in
Yeah,
the day.
Napster
Yeah,
was the one that blew that shit out of the waters. That's
Nes
when
Forever.
no one
Yeah,
knew what
yeah.
pirating was before Napster.
Nes Forever. My favorite game was there's this weird game called Probotector. I think it was. It's like this weird robot game. And I also like Jackie Chan. There was a Jackie Chan's Great Adventures or something. That was a wicked game. Oh, it was another. No, it was another browser. Now that you say it, I have a vague recollection of that, man. Now
Yeah, I
that
have
you
a
say
vague
it,
recollection too. I never used it
it's
personally,
like
but
I
remember
remember
it.
when I was in uni, there was like Firefox, there was Internet Explorer, and there was an Apple one as well because there was like some Apple computers in my uni as well. They had like a whole room of, they had a whole like room of Apple computers, probably donated to them by Apple or something to keep Mac in the game. But I do remember Netscape somehow or other. I don't know why or where, but yeah, Netscape. I do remember the dial-up though, the analog internet at home.
Remember MySpace, social media before
No, I
social
didn't. I
media
didn't. I
when you're.
didn't use. I didn't use MySpace. I used
Oh,
Bebo
you
when that came
didn't.
out. No,
Oh man,
Bebo.
I grew up on MySpace. People were actually social on social media before it became
Yeah,
social media. It
MySpace
was
was all about.
wild.
MySpace was all about music and shit, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, 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 no. MySpace became about music when it died. You know,
Oh right. Okay.
they tried to reinvent it for musicians, and it totally
No,
fucking
I
flopped.
think at that age, getting like sport and just living. I wasn't really going on social media or anything at that time.
I had
I
fucking
was
1,700 friends on MySpace, and I actually
wow.
fucking chatted with these people. Fuck. The
Mm.
internet, you cannot say the internet used to was never a social place. It used to be social. Fuck.
I do remember the chat rooms though, as a horny teenager, trying to get go on there and trying to get like 30-year-old women to show me their tits. Sorry, I know that's bad, but
You're not talking AOL then. You're talking like chat roulette or like Omega
MSN, no
or Omegle or
MSN,
whatever.
fucking MSN Messenger or something, MSN fucking chat rooms.
Yeah, but
You
that
go
didn't
on
have
there.
video chat.
No, but they'd send you a fucking private message or something, wouldn't they? With a fucking whatever.
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't think that you could even send pictures on that. Maybe you could. I can't. It
Well,
was
you had
fucking
MSN
been a
Messenger.
minute.
Do you not remember MSN Messenger?
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
remember
used
that.
AOL Instant
Do you know what?
Messenger, so they
MSN
were different.
Messenger was actually MSN Messenger was good, and I don't know why they got rid of it. It was like a
Huh.
Skype kind of thing, but
Mm.
they
Oh yeah, it
fucked
must
it
have
off
been
for some
really
reason.
good
I don't know
then.
why.
Yeah,
It
it
was
sounds
really
like
good.
it was. It sounds like it was, miles ahead of the AOL Instant
It was. You
Messenger
could play
then.
games on it. There was chat rooms on it. You could
Oh
talk
yeah,
to people.
It was definitely
You could
more
do
advanced
audio
then.
calls, video calls,
Yep.
and it was connected to your email, everything. And I really don't know why they got rid of it because I have no idea. I think
Huh.
for some reason people stopped using it. I don't know why. Maybe because of Facebook or something. I don't
Yep.
know.
No, that sort of reminds me of how Google tried making their social media service for a little while, and then the same kind of thing. Everybody
Well,
went on to Facebook, and Google was like, "We're shutting this down."
yeah, I imagine now people might prefer something like MSN because you don't have to have like a public profile or anything. You can just choose who you want to be friends with, and you
Huh.
don't have to go to any like. It's not like Discord. You go into servers or anything. You can just
Oh yeah.
add. You could just if you have someone's email address, you can chat to them. That's
Yeah.
the way it worked. I think.
Discord drives me fucking nuts. fucking A. Like it works, it definitely works, but just the modern way we set things up and oh my god.
ICQ. Now that was a bit like MSN Messenger, wasn't it? It was just a really kind of strange, like basic version, right? If I remember
I've
rightly, I might
never
be
even
wrong.
heard of that one.
I think it was like a really basic MSN Messenger, kind of like obviously probably by someone else, right? If I remember rightly.
I remember ICQ. Wasn't that something that was in the bottom corner of your screen or something? And it was
Yeah.
like a text
Was that somewhere you
message.
could send messages to anyone on the network? Was that it?
Yeah.
That
I
because I remember
that.
one of my friends got reprimanded at university because he sent when we were like freshers, he sent a message, "Suck my hairy bollocks" or something like that, and he sent "send to all" because he was a mad bastard, and he wasn't in the same course as me. He I think he was actually doing computer science, but he dropped out. But he sent to all. Because we used to, when you were a student, you used to hang out in the computer, like the computer place. There's a few of
Yep.
them dotted around the campus, but you used to hang out in there. And as a student, we used to go on the fucking, because we didn't have internet growing up or whatever. It was lovely because you used to go on there and play computer games and shit on like, there used to be this Newgrounds or something thing and
Oh yeah.
board at
I know what you're
college,
talking about.
boardatcollege.com, and you could play really crappy games. And yeah, I don't really
Oh,
think
I miss those Flash
YouTube
websites.
was around as well, but we didn't really watch much YouTube.
Albino Black Sheep,
But
Holy
yeah,
Lemon.
that weird thing
Fuck.
where you could send a message to anybody, that caused a few problems. I
Yep.
remember when I was in uni as well, you had to pay for the printing, right? But when I was in, say, my finals, I managed to find out a secret code, a prompt that you put in to get free printing. So I was printing off shitloads of stuff because someone in the computer science department, obviously they knew and they told someone and that person told me. So then I was getting loads of fucking stuff printed off for free because people don't know how lucky they are. Back in the day,
Oh yeah.
if you wanted to print something off, you had to pay for it, and it ended up costing you an arm and a leg because you used to have, in our place, you used to have these cards as well for photocopying. We used to have to photocopy. That was another thing. Imagine having to photocopy things. Fucking hell.
What do they do now? Just scan them?
Well, I mean,
Upload a digital file?
I think most, yeah. I mean, most of the things that need to be scanned are already available somewhere online. And the new material is just in digital format anyway. You know what I
We
mean?
used to get like these massive fucking wads of photocopied material, with the course materials in them, like just huge wads of this stuff. And my God, it was. I remember the first year of varsity, all your lecturers just give you this, what do you call them? A ream. It's like a couple of reams thick, a couple of telephone books.
Yeah.
Worth of material.
We had a few of
like,
those
holy
as well.
Shit.
Jeez.
Do I have to read all this?
Now the fucking college classes aren't even fucking, giving them books to read. They won't finish them. Fuck.
Brother Marcus says
That's
there was
crazy.
IRC. I don't remember that. I don't remember IRC. And I don't remember Pal Talk. I don't remember what that was. No, I don't remember that one. I remember Yahoo chat rooms, and there was also Yahoo. You could make a website on Yahoo back in the day on anything you wanted. Like it hosted them. Obviously, it was crap.
Wasn't
But
it
like
GeoCities or something? GeoCities or
GeoCities, that's
Fire
it. Yeah.
something.
We did that actually as a project in uni. Like we had to make some crappy little fucking. We had to do some fucking crappy little project, and we ended up putting it on a GeoCities fucking site.
They still have that kind of thing. That's NeoCities now.
Well, they have like Wix free domains. There's a few of them that offer free domains, but it's like, so you choose like the username. Say if it was like findingosis.wix.com. So they host it for free, but it has Wix on it. And then there's loads of Wix ads on it. That kind of way. They do that. Yeah. Brother Marcus says his phone can scan documents. Wow. Yeah. A built-in feature, or is it an app? Because I remember when I had the iPhone, you could like, you didn't scan the receipts, but you could take a picture of the receipts for them. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I know
another
it's been
thing.
an app,
It's a
but
lot
probably
easier
integrated
to
them all now.
it's a lot easier to manage your finances and stuff than it used to be. You know. Roman, who is also Retro, says, welcome, Sage, welcome, my friend. Retro, you coming on here? Be good to talk to you. And Brother Marcus, if you can figure out. I've enjoyed the stream tonight, though, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been a good one. The vibes are here tonight.
Yeah. So, anything else, guys? As I say, we'll probably run it for another 10 minutes live. If anybody wants to hang out here backstage, that's cool. You can do, but feel free to come on, guys. Brother Marcus says, "Remember Ask Jeeves?" Yeah, I do remember that. That was like
Oh my God,
a
ask
search
Jeeves.
engine. Was that like a search engine that you could go on and ask a question to?
Yeah.
And it would give you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
There was a few.
No, that's just
there was a
funny.
few kind of. There was a few efforts back in the day, wasn't there? There's a few different like search engines trying to compete with Google
Oh
back
man,
in the day.
we should start putting our fucking profile pictures as freaking Jeeves, man. Everybody's doing the clippies. We need to start Jeeving it up as well.
So Retro, good luck with that. He said he's been doing lots of video edits and soundtrack stuff, so that's cool. Retro, yeah, we have missed you, but it's good to know you're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I also
good.
remember that weird feature that they got rid of. I think it was relatively recently, a few years ago. I'm feeling lucky. Do you remember that on the Google search? You used to be able to.
Yeah.
There was this weird button that didn't make any sense. You just
that
gave
was
you like
really
a random.
fucking weird.
Yeah. It used to. What it used to do was you put in your search whatever it was. Yeah, say you search for finding gnosis, and then you could either click on the left hand button which said search, or I'm finding lucky, which was another button on the right hand side. And that would just bring you to a random web page related to your search. It could be anything, but just related to the search. I think it was just a fun quirk. It was just a fun quirk that they introduced, but they got rid of it because ultimately it wasn't really anything useful. Only made a bit of fun, but yeah, I think people just didn't use it that much in the end, and it was pointless.
Are you talking about the "I'm feeling lucky" button? Sorry.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was a weird feature.
Ah, the old days, eh?
I tell you what, what's your favorite like weird? What's your favorite weird little kind of prompts or shortcuts for things like Gmail and email? I tell you what I like. When I send emails to people, like say with just an attachment, I can't be bothered to write the email, so I just write in the subject line the topic of whatever it is, and then EOM, end of message, and then you don't have to input any text in the body of the email. It does it.
Can't
it
really
just sends
do that here. Emails here have to be. You've got to be real careful. There's certain structures. You've got to be quite polite and.
Oh no, that's just if you're sending it to your friends or whatever.
Oh right,
or somebody you know. It's not.
I got you.
Yeah.
But even email, I'm just getting sick of email now as well. I
it doesn't look like you've got your microphone attached, Brother Marcus. I can see that people's microphones are attached. It doesn't look like yours is showing up, so you might have to give permission. Sorry, even email. What was that?
Oh, I'm just saying. Even now, I just get. Some people get annoyed at me sometimes because I don't respond to emails. in the prompt, I just don't check it as often as I used to.
This is true. I mean,
I use a messaging service instead.
I don't think anybody checks their emails as often as they once did.
But Japan has a weird messaging service. You were telling us about it before, right?
Oh, it's not weird. It's just popular in Japan and Korea. It's called Line, run by Naver. I mean, anyone can.
Is it like a WhatsApp kind of thing?
Yeah. But it's all encrypted. And it's just better. It's better. Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
But it's the go-to. That's what everyone uses here. Oh, Marcus is on.
Oh, we have a bit of sound.
Hello.
Brother Marcus.
There he is.
Hello, brother. You figured it out. Congratulations.
Well, I'm on my computer now, not my cell phone.
Oh, we are blessed. So what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's been a fun stream. I actually stayed up later than I intended, but it was one of those streams that just went pretty well,
Oh, mate, you're way
and I
past what
enjoyed
you
it.
told me.
So.
It's almost 2:30 where you are.
Yeah. But I will go soon.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to hang out, they can feel free. But Brother Marcus, before I do go, did you have anything to say about anything we were talking about?
No, I just got the tail end of it. I was enjoying the AI conversation.
Okay. What are your main kind of worries, or even hope? What's your main kind of feelings about it all?
It's mostly negative. I think I've started using it only for like searching up stuff, and I think it's building a bad habit. I was watching some person talk about how like it structures our grammar, and while it's a great tool to do like Grammarly, for example, it helps. I notice like I don't even think about how I'm writing compared to what I used to do before. And I think that might have some trickling effects into other aspects. It's kind of like reading books, reading slowly, like helps with your critical thinking. And I think if we're going to be accustomed to short-term queries for immediate answers, this is going to like affect other parts of our brain.
Yes. It may be a major cause of Alzheimer's in the future. Because it's just
Well, if
like
we don't
people
get the
stop using.
socialization
No,
in addition to it,
there's
yeah,
that as well. But
definitely.
like they say that some people, the way to stave off Alzheimer's is to literally use your brain as much as possible in different ways. So if you're not using it in that critical, analytical way that Brother Marcus is talking about, and you're not engaging it fully, and you're being a passive kind of user or passive communicator, passive thinker, or not even really thinking, letting AI do the thinking for you, then yeah, that's surely going to have an adverse effect on your brain, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. I think that's what I think it's going to happen more and more. And I'm seeing academics use it as well. And
Oh, it's a major research tool for a lot of people now. A lot of these
I know
academics.
exactly what you're talking about, because I've been thinking about this since I started using the AI, and I've came to the conclusion that I'm going to work on becoming a writer no matter what, because I don't want that to affect me in some negative way.
I have this personal thing where if you use Grammarly, you shouldn't be fucking writing anything. That's just what I think.
Unless you have
if
dyslexia,
you
come
need to
on.
rely on that, then you're not skilled enough to write. That's I'll die on that hill.
We'll roll you down at your.
I'm serious. I'm serious, man. I just think.
What about if you just use it for like spell check or something, like, you know?
Well, I don't know. I think every program has a spell check, but even spell check, I mean, I sometimes turn it off. I mean, it's not like my typing's all that accurate, but I can tell when it's something spelt wrong, you know?
It should.
What do you think about
I think there is
corded character entry?
What's that?
Corded character entry. That's like using a keyboard with sort of a predictive auto type function, but it's not really software based on the end results of the platform you're using. It's more internal in the keyboard itself. You'll start typing out some words, and you have programmed your keyboard yourself, so you could be an advanced academic, and it's not going to come up with some commonplace words. It's gonna actually get what you're typing. No, they're corded character entry is really interesting.
I mean,
Look
we
up
have
the
that predictive
caracorder.
text. We have the predictive text on our phones, right? But
Yeah,
that's been out for a long time.
though.
I remember that was out on the Nokia 210, I think. But this is different.
Look up the caracorder online. If you look up the caracorder, their whole slogan for their company is to type at the speed of thought. And you see some of these people typing on it. I mean, they've been banned from typing competitions because it's just insane how fast people can type accurately with these things.
Right. Okay.
But as someone once said about like the book, you remember that book, The Da Vinci Code?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember just reading a review about it where some guy described it. He said, "That's not writing, that's just typing." And I think, yeah, that's where
That
we're
was
headed.
that book really caught the zeitgeist at the time. Everyone was reading it. I have
That
to
was very
admit, I
Oh
read
yeah,
it.
it did.
I read that book. I did read it, and everybody read it. Everybody went to see
writing helps you think. Writing helps you organize your thoughts. Writing and reading. I know I'm just going to be fucking yelling at clouds, but I just yeah.
Oh, I like it. No, I agree with you with that. Everybody's
Well,
reading freaking Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code. I get Umberto Eco's Foucault's Pendulum. I ain't reading
Umberto
that
Eco was
fucking
good. Yeah.
shit.
the
Umberto
way that
Eco.
we read has an impact on our critical thinking as well, and that I want to go down a rabbit hole, because I grew up learning to read with phonics, and apparently that got grandfathered at some point, and other methods of teaching kids how to read were in place, and I think they've gone back to phonics again.
Phonics. Yeah, they've gone
Yep.
back.
And they have like studies showing why it's superior, so to
What
speak.
were the other versions of teaching kids to read? Like, what the hell?
I don't know. I
Whole
forgot what they're
language
called.
learning.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what
Sorry?
it's
Yeah,
called.
no,
Something like
I'm
that.
naturally a whole language learner, but I was forced to, be taught through phonetics, so it really fucked me up for a while.
So you did
I
both?
was taught
I hated
phonetics.
reading until I had my literary awakening as an adult and realized,
I
hey,
don't
you
know
don't have to
what
fucking
other way
listen to all
can you
these
be taught.
teachers.
I don't understand how you can be taught in any other way.
I know
What?
that's what's so fascinating is that the way that you and I have been taught, like other people are taught differently, and
But what? I don't know anything about this. This is baffling to
yeah,
me.
I know.
What way were they taught?
I don't know how
Here,
to
I'll look it up
explain
really
it.
quick so I can give it an accurate description.
No wonder the world's crazy.
So yeah, like I used to go harp on about like, yeah, we should read more, but literally like people have different ways of reading the same thing now.
Definitely.
And
I think
there's
I think a lot of sorry.
there are outcomes that will be different depending on how you read.
I've also heard of that. Isn't there a technique called critical reading where you just read to find snippets which suit what you're looking for, if it's for a research project or something. Like people just don't read to
Yeah,
absorb
yeah,
the
yeah.
information.
They zoom into what they feel is the thing.
I'm looking for
I'll
a
tell you
quote
something.
because I
That's
need it, kind of
funny.
thing.
When I was 9, I had a reading age of like 18 or something, right? And I remember I had this nun as a teacher, and she had me reading Shakespeare, and I was reading it perfectly, yeah. And she was astounded, and she said, "Can you understand that?" And I couldn't really. So I thought that was quite funny. I was able to fucking read things like confidently. Do you know what I mean? But that's just a little anecdote that I thought would be funny. I couldn't
All
really
right.
explain it very well.
Here we go. Whole language is an educational philosophy that emphasizes understanding and meaning in reading, encouraging learners to see words as whole units rather than breaking them down into individual sounds.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So when I
I mean,
read, I don't break
I
anything down
really
into
don't know how.
sounds.
I don't really know how, because we were taught like Roger. Like you had like a picture for like each letter, and then it
Yeah.
made a sound, and then you basically use that to learn how to talk, even how to read and talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously it wasn't
To me,
always
that's more
perfect
about
because we have.
pronunciation than reading.
Yeah, but it
Which
helps you
schools
fucking
you
read the
guys?
words on the. Mm.
What are you guys talking about? Didn't you just learn to read from a book when you were an infant?
Yeah, but someone helped us.
Yeah, but how do you, when you see a word, what goes on in your head? Like, are you sounding it out in your head? Are you
Yes.
trying to
This
find
is a very
certain?
interesting point, Brother
Because you
Marcus,
can look at a
because
paragraph and look at certain
I
words and certain sentences and develop
I
a
said,
structure of
what?
what the
yeah,
paragraph is
yeah.
saying.
What
That's
Brother
No,
like,
Marcus says. Listen, Chickpea,
what?
Brother Marcus, this is also related to something else because I word it out in my head. Yeah. Now, this is probably related to having an internal monologue. Now, I have an internal monologue, right? But apparently, there's a lot of people that don't have an internal monologue. They literally don't have a voice in their head, like describing what is going on as they're walking around,
Yep,
which
I
I
know what you're
find
saying.
amazing.
I've just found an
You know?
article by David Benatar that's going to make some people angry.
Oh, go on, tell us. You're my favourite man.
Actually, I wish I hadn't said that, so I should keep my
Is
mouth
it a
shut.
new article or?
I think it is. Yeah, it's about terrorism and Hamas and stuff.
Uh-oh.
This is great.
Well, let me guess. It's pro-Israeli.
Of course it is. But okay.
Oh,
Fuck, I'm
God.
sorry for bringing it up. Go carry on with what you're talking about. I'll
Well,
just-
I mean,
I'll-
I'm not saying he's wrong, by the way. But I don't know if he's as unbiased as
the reason I laughed is because I noticed someone commented in a comment on YouTube and in the comment section saying, "Well, what's his legitimacy because he's not pro-Palestinian." I'm just very broadly stating that. That's why it's funny to me. It's the kind of
Okay.
thing that could cause a rift in this tiny little corner of the interweb, which I will look upon and laugh.
Oh my gosh. Fucking A. That's crazy.
So-
You know,
Sage, were you taught whole language learning?
No.
Oh,
No, I was
okay.
taught phonetic learning, but I never, it
I
never
would
vibed
love
me.
to talk to someone like who was taught this way, because apparently this was a thing.
Yeah, no, it's considered discredited and anti-pedagogical now. It's considered
love
complete
to-
hockey bullshit. But they say
okay,
that
that's-
nobody naturally knows how to read, but that doesn't make sense because fucking A, that's the way I naturally read.
Listen. This reminds you of something else. Now, this will absolutely shock you, and this is unbelievable. When I found this out, I was like, "What the fuck?" I have a friend. I think he's about 60 odd. He's either 60 or 61 or 2. He's around that age. Now, he's dyslexic, right? Now, when he was telling me about being in school, and back when he was in school, the government over here brought in this system for educating dyslexic people. Okay, and what they used to do is he went to a normal school, but they used to take them aside, put them in a different classroom, and teach them with a totally different what's the word? Instead of using the Roman characters that we use in our alphabet, they used like different symbols for letters.
are you talking about the phonetic alphabet?
Well, he hasn't. I can't remember what it was called, but they used a different symbols, different characters, and basically when he wrote, when they wrote in in that format, right? Now that was all very well for the classroom, but don't forget these poor fuckers had to go out into the world then and try and communicate with others with their writing, and they couldn't depend on these characters. You know what I mean? That were
Right.
just utilized in their special classrooms. So it was abandoned for that reason. But I just thought, well, wasn't that fucking obvious? You know, like I suppose in having I haven't said it out loud before, but I suppose on reflection, at least it gave them a chance to be educated in some way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it got them a chance to engage critically with what the teacher was saying, and for the teacher to understand what they were saying, and there was a bit of back and forth. So at least there was that. But I do, yeah, he it did really affect this guy, in that when he went out into the world, he was set up with these tools that weren't suitable for mass communication or for communicating with anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not the way you do things.
No. So it was like he found it a cruel experiment, and he's really angry about it, actually, even to this day.
No, that's where I
And
really
as I
am
said,
into
it's
promoting.
his lived experience. There's no better people to ask about it than the people who went through it. And apparently, he said that loads of people who went through it got really fucked up from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have
'Cause
you
you're
ever heard of
literally-
Lexend?
No, what's that?
Lexend is a typography face specifically designed to enhance readability for dyslexic individuals. So they actually have.
I mean, maybe
used-
that's what he was using.
No, but this is the whole thing is that for about 10 years ago, I remember Lexend was getting really popular there, and they were talking about making it a standardized thing where instead of, having Times New Roman or Comic Sans or whatever typography face you see in day-to-day life, they'd start using Lexend and all, things day-to-day life. You'd see a stop sign and the stop line, the stop letters would be written in
I mean,
Lexend.
how many people are dyslexic? Does anyone know the figures? Because there does seem to be a lot of people with dyslexia.
Yeah, it's a pretty high
And
percentage. I don't know. I think it's like
I
around
want to
20%,
say something.
maybe.
I want to say something that I noticed quite young, actually. Some of the dyslexic women I noticed were very, very hot. Right now, I was like, why is that? They were super symmetrical beings. You know what I mean? They were very, very beautiful, and I noticed that like quite young, and then it seemed to be a standard. I noticed it quite regularly, and then it actually happened that I read about this recently, that dyslexic people's brains are very symmetrical, each hemisphere. Now, apparently, a human brain isn't meant to be completely symmetrical, because like each side is meant to be different to the others. They actually compete with each other to help you think about reality. So you got the logic and the creativity, and they're competing with each other. Do you know what I mean? To try and give
I know
you
what you're talking about. I don't believe in
basically
that
there's
hemisphere shit.
basically an internal debate going on in your mind,
Yep.
and then it's spewing out the prominent matter that could help you. Now, these people, because they're so similar, they don't have that ability to cross-reference things, and that's why it comes out like that's why they get confused, because they're not able to cross-reference and analyze things, and that's why they make mistakes, because there's nothing to cross-reference. There's no difference. Do you know what I mean? That's what this scientific study was saying. I thought that was interesting.
I think though we could probably do a lot of good if we just go back to whatever they were doing around the 1800s and the 1900s, because I mean people then were reading far more advanced stuff than we were reading at young ages. Like Kant was
yeah.
Hey,
20,
I was about to
23
actually
years
suggest
old or
some
something.
reading material,
And
The
so
Origin of
what we
Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind by Julian Haynes.
can I just say something? Because listening to you lot talking now, when I was 8 years old, I could read in 2 different languages. And you're talking about all these different things, but how come I could read 2 languages by the time I was 8?
Because you grew up in a bilingual household, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, but
It's because your brain, when we're kids, our brain's like a sponge. And no offense, Chickpea, but
yes.
most people who grew up in bilingual households are able to read and write in 2 different languages, speak in them. It'd be unusual for you not to be if your parents communicated you in that manner. In actual fact, they say that people who grew up in bilingual households, it's better for your brain and it helps them in later life.
Yeah, your creativity
reason.
levels are actually raised versus non-bilingual.
Your reasoning levels as well, because they're always, because they had to think, because one parent was speaking in one language, another in a different language, and they had to like compare and contrast. So
yeah,
think a lot of that's
contextualize
anecdotal.
things, figure out what the hell's going on.
There's nothing that supports that, I think, in the real world. I just think that's propaganda for people who are bilingual.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I think both can be true.
Well, you see, Yerf Dog. No, Chippy, 1 second. Yerf Dog raises an interesting point there, and I'm a little bit of a believer that your brain is a finite kind of resource for helping you, and if you fill it up with, if your brain is like utilizing one area to a greater extent than other people, then you might be lacking in other areas. You know what I mean? So there is that as well. So people who grow up in a unilingual house might be using their brain in a different way, thinking about other stuff. Whereas the kid growing up in a bilingual house is kind of like wasting their time thinking about these 2 languages and not engaging their brain on other matters, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, I actually know exactly what you're talking about with that. You're not going to have.
Look, I'm being hyperbolic about it, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, I get it. That some of the high culture words in English are going to be lost on the bilingual person. You're not going to be diving into the super dense, deep, intricate words of masterclass native English speakers.
No, that's
Yes, we
nonsense.
do. I was level with everybody else, Sage.
Brother Marcus, do you want to share what you found there using our friend Google AI?
Oh,
I'm just going to get a drink, but I'll be right back.
yeah, it just said It is estimated that 10 to 20% of people have dyslexia.
Ah, my intuition was right. I thought it was around 20%.
But say, as I was saying, my levels of reading were just the same as all the girls I went to school with. I was no different, even though I was bilingual.
Hmm. Well, they have
I went to grammar
fucking
school.
weird bullshit ways of measuring reading abilities for kids. I literally wasn't allowed to read in elementary school because my reading level was too high, and they said, "Oh, your reading level's too high, and you're not mature enough for these books. You know, we'll get in big political problems if we let you read these."
Ah.
You know,
I
I was
don't
like, I
believe you.
literally wanted to read things like Tom Sawyer as a kid, and they're like, "Nah, you can't read that. That's an old offensive book, and you're not mature enough, and we're
I,
going to get in
I read
trouble if
that.
you do that."
I read that before they took out the N words.
Yeah. No, I
Huckleberry
discovered
Finn.
Scholastic book industry. They have such a fucking iron grasp on the fucking teachers and the pedagogy in our school systems. It's like unless it's Scholastic, you're pretty much not reading it. At least that's the way it seems here in the States.
Hmm.
No, we
Weird
were
country
just told to go to the
states, isn't
library
it?
and just fucking read whatever you could get your hands on.
Fuck.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember
always
there
like,
used to be
shit,
like a
maybe I'd have
reading
an easier
time.
time reading fiction and not getting sucked into the television if I was actually allowed to read as a child.
Sorry,
Now that I'm
what
an
was that,
adult,
Brother
I'm
Marcus?
like,
I remember
yeah.
there was like a reading times segment where they just put us into the library. I think it
Yeah.
was for like a period, and they said just pick anything and just chill out and read for the period, and then
Hmm.
that was a thing. I don't even know what
Yeah,
it was
we had the
called,
same
but
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Did
remember
you have the
we used to
stuffed
have
animals and
something else.
everything?
in primary school we were given books to read based on our grading. So they tested us and they gave us like a key stage fucking books or whatever for us to read. And then in middle school, we read in our classes, like in our English class, we would read a novel as a class. You know what I mean? But also, yeah,
Mm.
in the middle school, we also did the so middle school was like between 9 and 13. You would go to the library as well and read whatever you want for your leisure and study purposes. Do you know what I mean as well? That like once a week you'd go down the library and you could take out a book on whatever you want and read it. Yeah.
I legit think I was a better thinker in high school when I had to reference encyclopedias and read slowly and analytically than as an adult when I can just quickly search with AI or Google or
Mm.
anything like that. Um, I put
No, I know
less
exactly what you're
effort into
talking
it.
about with that because I'm getting into back into books and source material for that exact reason because there's too much semantic tunneling online. I've discovered this recently. I watched this documentary on was it ironworking and whatnot and making alloys, and they were talking about this new form of metallic glass. They were calling it a new atomic structure of metal, where instead of the metal being arranged atomically in a crystalline grid, it's arranged in basically a solid liquid form. You know, where it maintains the property of a solid, but if you look at the atomic structure, all the atoms are in all these random. Chaotic organization like you'd find in fluid. And when I looked up online, you know, metallic or liquid metal, it came up. I was going, this isn't coming with fucking mercury, but it came with exactly the material I was looking for. And at the same time, my head, I'm going, okay, this is either going to be mercury or it's going to be, you know, the art world, the metallic glasses, you know, it was just fucking wild, and it's literally called metallic glass, this new form of metalworking. But there's also metallic glass of the fucking of the uh actual glass looking all artistic with metal strips and or being impregnated with metallic isotopes or whatnot. So it's just wild shit because when I looked online it came up with exactly what I was just looking at, but not all the other things I was thinking. And it's like, if you're only showing me what I'm talking about or looking at, but not all the things I'm thinking about, I'm not going to be able to actually have this vast avenue of resources available to me. So we actually have to go back into looking into these books and finding these source materials. We can't just rely on the AI.
So
with
Marcus,
the
your
AI
comment
thing
was,
too, I noticed. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say your comment is interesting because I'm just thinking when you've got a book open, you're forced to. First of all, it's a focus thing. You can't sort of switch away and go to Twitter, for example. It's right there in front of you. You
Yep.
can't escape it. So you're forced to contend with it, and in real time. I think in a deeper level, whereas stuff we can search online, and I do this, and it's something I should probably stop doing. I just go and find information, use it for what I need it for, and then basically forget it. Whereas I don't know with books, I don't know if that's what you feel, Marcus. Is that what you were getting at?
Yes, well, that opens up another thing is that so there's like the critical thinking aspect. There's the also memory retention as well,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Yeah,
a
it's like
whole
fire and
host of
forget.
it's like a
Yeah.
whole host of things that at least the way that I'm engaging with material and content and the different uh, forms it comes in is that personally it could be just me projecting or whatever. I feel like my brain is rotting, and the more entrenched AI is in everything, like I don't even know one app that I use that doesn't have fucking AI in it,
Yeah.
and
Right.
Is it
it's
rotting or getting frazzled? You know, if it's getting
different.
frazzled by information overload,
Frazzled. I like
information
that.
overload, just like
No. I
just
think it's
too much.
rotting. Like I can sense that my attention span's getting fucked up, my memory's
Yeah,
getting
mine is.
fucked up, my critical thinking skills are getting fucked up. It's just
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
I think it's
mhm.
People are too
and
hard on themselves though too, and that makes it
W-
worse. You know.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I'm thinking at from a kind of neurochemistry kind of point of view is there is this apparently there's this hormone we get when we complete a task that's taken a lot of effort. We get
Hmm.
a reward hormone in our body, and it makes us feel good.
Yeah, the
Uh,
dopamine.
Dopamine, but it comes like from it's not necessarily it's I don't know if it's dopamine, but it's something else. It's a hormone that makes you feel good, and it lasts quite a while. Uh, and you used to I don't know if you guys used to get that, but when you if you finished a you know, it was a momentous
Are you
task
talking
sometimes, but if
endorphins?
you it might be an endorphin. There is some particular endorphin or hormone that is released from achieving a goal, from achieving something that you set out to
Right.
do. Okay,
Yeah, to me
now
that's dopamine because
Mm.
dopamine is the motivation molecule.
well, it's not something you get from quick achievements, is what I'm saying to you. It's not
Mm.
like you don't get it from something quick. It's from a long term. It's a long term. You know what I mean? It's like
Okay.
I
I
remember
think I
reading
get what
about
you're
this.
saying.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know about
Mm.
you guys, but you know that feeling you got when you were younger from finishing a book, and you did feel that little, but you bathed in the glory of it. You felt this good feeling that it kind of ran through your body.
Yeah.
Do you
No, I still
remember that
get that.
when you were
yeah,
younger?
I
I
remember
just
Um,
that.
had that the other
I
day.
know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about? That is actually
Yeah.
there is a neurochemical thing going on there. It's like it's like a
Yeah,
subconscious reward system going on
when
in
you
your
get
body.
older, it starts to diminish.
Now
I know
it
that.
doesn't just happen in when you're reading a book, but it can happen in say, for example, I'm going to give other examples. There must be like a farmer who spent his whole time tending the field, and then like at the end of August or begin September or whatever, he goes out and harvests the wheat field. You know what I mean? He gets that feeling at the end when he sent the crop off to get his money or whatever. You know what I mean? So you
I
get this
noticed
reward for. But what I'm
I
Yeah.
noticed
saying is,
my satisfaction of like TV shows also diminish when I binge watch a series
Mm.
versus if I
yes,
take it like in weekly segments.
and
Yeah.
I think this might be something to do with it because we're all getting addicted to instant information, right? But that isn't serving us neurochemically and benefiting us in the way that it used to when we gave time to things and we achieved things. We gave our time and focus on things, understood things. Do you understand? So it's not
Yeah.
benefiting us neurochemically. It's driving us insane and making us feel unsatisfied because we're not getting that neurochemical benefit.
I think it's the other side to dopamine. You know, everybody talks about dopamine as the pleasure molecule, but it's also the motivation molecule. If you get motivation and pleasure, you know, interacting, everybody's going to be perceiving that in different ways. You know, like Marcus was just talking about binge watching. I actually get the
Mm.
opposite. If I binge watch a whole bunch of a show, I'll get a lot more pleasure than if I, you know, watch one episode every few days.
Yeah, but again, you know what I'll say there, Sage? If you binge watch and manage to complete the series, that is a good thing because you haven't
Oh,
lost
well, that's different for
focus.
me.
You
If
know what
I
I mean?
finish the series, I actually feel
But
terrible.
I found myself increasingly watching Netflix, and then I said, "Oh, this looks good," and then after 3 episodes, I'm like, "Oh, fuck this," you
Oh
know.
yeah, the
You all
And
get that.
No, I have that big time
Rubbish.
nowadays.
That's why.
we've lost Yerf Dogs.
Oh dear. Got a
We've
cough.
lost Yerf Dogs.
See you, Yerf Dogs.
All right, Yerf Dogs, take care. Have a good one. I think, guys, we'll give it a few more minutes, but then I'll end the show. But you guys can hang out if you want to. But thanks, Yerf Dogs, and everybody who watched. But yeah, I suppose, guys, we'll do a little round the table in terms of like closing remarks or whatever. Sage, do you want to say something?
Oh man, I'm lost in the empty right now, so I don't know much much to say. I'm enjoying the vacuum.
Okay. Brother Marcus, do you want to say something in closing?
It's been a pleasure talking. Hope everyone have a good night. That's all I got. Be careful of AI. Check your sources, Reed.
Yeah. And Chickpea, closing remarks before I end the
Thank
live.
you for the video you did before earlier with old Sage and the whole watch with flip problem. So I've really learned a lot from that.
Alexithymia. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. Well,
Oh,
Glad to
no.
know that we're providing some level of gnosis for you, Chickpea.
Well, that's why I come here, because I do learn from you guys. I know you found it hard. Anyway, what do you think of Bella?
You're-
That's Bella sitting there.
Lovely eyes. Yeah,
She's
beautiful.
beautiful. She's a naughty
Shiny.
little girl.
Shiny coat on her as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
she's
guys, it's been a real pleasure. I really enjoyed that one, and thank you very much. And lots to think about, and lots to do in terms of personal attitude towards what we're doing day to day, and trying to survive in a healthy way in this crazy world. So thank you very much for all your inspirational thoughts and all your insights. I really appreciate it. So Agnostic says, fun dropping truth bombs here. Good vibes. Thank you to you too, Agnostic. Thank you to
How's your
everybody.
cough,
We'll end the
by
live
the way?
there. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Cheerio.
How's your cold, a bleak cough? I've got one as
Oh,
well.
it's fine. It didn't materialize.